How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course After Chat. Alrighty. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out on the after chat. It's time we hop in, or sorry, on the first chat. If you made it to the first chat, now we're going to hang out with the after chat. But to do that, I've got to join the Discord here. So link is in the description if you're catching up with us. And this is all a little bit new to you. We've got a Discord for the Ham Radio Crash Course. And every Saturday after the live stream, we do an after chat. And the goal of the after chat always is to try and help out hams with their questions. We like to help the new hams out first to get their questions answered first right off the bat. But we open it up to everybody, though. And we definitely spend the time to help out everybody who needs the help. So without further ado, let's say hi to the crew.
Ones with the windows on them.
You have the best shack for indoor mag loop.
Well, but I got instant access to the backyard through the windows. So.
You have a DX Commander, for God's sake.
Yeah. Well,
how's it going?
Oh. Hey, Josh.
How's it going, everybody?
Flibberty gibbets.
We're now live on the after chat, so thanks for coming out. Appreciate you. I was talking about this on the after chat as we were kicking it off, that we really like to help out people that are new to ham radio. So if you're new to the Ham Radio Crash Course or new to ham radio and you have a question, we'd love to hear from you. So if you'd like to say hi and ask your question, come forward. We're starting things off fast. We're hitting the ground running. So who wants to be first?
Is the 905 pre-production?
Don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know how I'll tell, to be honest, other than
it'll say in the firmware.
Well, maybe. I'm told. So Ray said, "Here you go, make videos on it." I said, "Okay," and I just got it, and I haven't even plugged it in yet, so I haven't even tested to see if it transmits.
FCC ID?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm not. I haven't looked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hear it should be hitting the streets any day.
Yeah, we should see it very soon.
So how's the antenna count looking?
What do you mean, antenna count?
Well, how many antennas have you obtained for the higher frequencies?
3. So basically, whatever you saw at the Icom booth for Hamcation is what I have.
Those dome antennas?
Yeah, those omnidirectionals.
Okay, yeah.
Did you get the 10K option too?
Yes, I do.
Or 10 gig, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 10. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm literally tomorrow, I've got like I've overplanned. I'm going to try and work on 3 videos tomorrow. And the first one is going to be that 905 video. That's really just me getting it on the air, really checking it, and then like testing transmit. And I'm likely going to have to run over to Home Depot or whatever and buy some stuff to get the RF bodies mounted on a tripod that I'm going to run with the antennas. All right.
And did you obtain some Heliacs for that?
I bought some Heliacs. It's being custom made for me, and I pick it up on Monday from a local.
M&P?
No.
No. Okay.
It's like a microwave.
RF Industries?
It's a microwave level Heliacs.
Yeah.
Custom made microwave Heliacs. That sounds expensive.
Oh, yeah.
A 3-foot.
How long do you get to play with it?
Don't know. A 3-foot run of it is $79.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of run are you doing?
Are you familiar with the 905?
No.
Okay, let me pull it up. What's gonna
Should mention I'm not looking at your stream right now, by the way.
Yeah, well that's fine. I'm gonna talk to it, but I want to make sure people can actually see what I'm talking to. Otherwise, it's just me waving my hands around like a lunatic. So let me go ahead and share the web here to the folks on the stream. Okay, so the 905, and we're going to use this one, this Gigaparts picture that's been around, that's been all over the net. Okay, so the head unit of the 905 is the processing body, if you will. The RF work gets done in the RF module. And the RF module ideally is going to be as close to the antenna as possible so that you can have a very short feed line run. And how they accomplish that is power over Ethernet. So it uses an Ethernet cable to go from the RF unit to the 905 head unit. So I need to have a tripod set up that will mount the RF unit as close as possible to the antenna. No, I take that back. It's a 1.5 foot and feed line at $79. So it's even more expensive.
Holy.
Yeah. Flexible Heliacs though. Yeah, so it's not cheap.
You know how thick it is?
It's not thick. It's not very thick. It's like SMA connection thick.
Yeah.
Hey, Josh, can you share the link for what you bought?
It's a custom job. I had to go. I'm working with HRO in Anaheim, and they connected me with another company that's just up the street from me in City of Industry. When I get it all and we test it, then we'll talk about it. But otherwise, let me get things sorted out before we start saying go buy all that stuff here.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd like to know. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. So
What are you going to use on 2 meters and 70 cents, Josh?
my 705.
No, I mean on this 905.
I don't know that I am, right? I mean, I can plug whatever I want into, I guess, but I haven't even thought about that. I'm focusing on microwave right now. Focusing on microwave.
Does the 905 have dual receivers?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's same general functionality as the 705. So it's not full duplex.
Yeah, it's kind of like single VFO, right?
It has an A and B channel, but it's not dual simultaneous A and B channel.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there any other radios that have this same sort of setup where it's a head unit and I guess more of an outdoor microwave unit?
There's no radio manufacturer that's making anything in the super high frequency range like Icom is doing here. No one's doing anything like this.
Well,
Yeah.
commercially we are.
Non-commercially, I guess that does happen. I saw a video from the 70s of some ham group up in, can't remember the name of the city, California. They had a microwave dish with a transmitter on the back of it that had a remote control feed line. It's cool.
Yeah, all of our, we've been doing this for years. All of our WiMAX, if you remember when WiMAX was big, all of our WiMAXs were done on radio heads like that. And then all of our 5G and 4G stuff is all radio heads like that. So
when was this around, WiMAX?
Still a thing.
2010, 2007 to 2010, somewhere.
Well, I was born in 2007, so I probably wouldn't remember that.
No, I'm just saying that that technology's been around for years because it's big in the cell industry because we basically don't want to buy coax.
All right.
and it's a bad idea.
That sounds reasonable.
So I don't want to get too off into the weeds. We can talk about the 905, although I don't have much to say because, like I said, I haven't done anything with it yet. But I want to give another chance for anybody here for the first time or has a newer to ham radio question that's on the voice or just on the YouTube or Twitch or wherever I'm streaming right now. If you have a question, come forward now and we'll try and help you out. So anybody here for the first time like to say hi or ask a question, go ahead.
I have an interesting question.
Go for it.
All right. Hey, it's Frank, KG6NW. Been around for a while, but I haven't done the voice much because I haven't been around.
No problem. Yeah,
my question. In-fed half wave with a balloon at the end.
Is that that seemed like a statement, not a question. What's the question?
All right. Let me make it a little. How well does one think that would work? Take the end of it, like the feed point end with the balun, hook it up to like a helium balloon and just let it float, tethered, of course, to the corner of your house for a day.
It'll work fine. The only thing that you have to consider is you have to bleed off the static. You need a static bleed. When it's floating up there like that, the wind will it'll collect static on the line. I have done this in a similar way, not exactly the same. I went to Party City. No, it was the Dollar Tree. And I bought like 20 helium Mylar party balloons and I tied them into a knot and then I took a floral wire. I was trying to do a dollar store Willet antenna video. I bought 150 feet or so of floral wire and I scraped the leads off, on the floral wire, so they were clean metal. Twisted them together, soldered the lines, and I just ran it up and let the balloons take it up as high as it would go. And I connected it to the Icom 705 tuner, and yeah, it works. I was able to do FT8 no problem, and I think I did a couple of single sideband contacts.
Soldering steel?
I just soldered them together. I just put solder on it.
Huh.
Well, thank you. I was thinking of maybe throwing a balloon up at POTA activation and having the feed line taken up that.
The problem you have with the balloon is the opposite problem you have with a kite. A balloon, as an antenna hoist, you need two things. You need a lot of lift, and you need no wind or low wind. Because what'll happen is the wind will just kind of lay it down. A kite is the opposite. A kite, you need a lot of wind to get it aloft, right? And then to kind of hold it in place. Both options work. If you are going that route, though, before you go full balloon launch time, I would recommend that you look up using a kite for ham radio, and look up a static bleed. And Jody found it. There you go. Jody dropped a link to a simple circuit that you would need for a static bleed resistor. You do want that.
All right, I'll have to. I'm cooking dinner while talking here, so I'll have to look that up later. So thank you, Jim.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead, Colin.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Were you trying to hoist the coax and the feed point, or are you tethering the feed point and putting the end up?
I wasn't sure which way I wanted to do it yet. Either the end point or the feed line.
You need the end point. You would need a massive balloon to try and lift the...
You said it the other way. That's why I wanted to make sure that you realized that you'd have to hoist the coax and the entire antenna.
You don't want to do that.
That's going to be hard, yeah.
That's what I thought, but that's why I asked.
Yeah, you would need like a weather balloon full of hydrogen to do that.
No, I just wanted to clarify that because it kind of sounded like that's what you were going for. And with a power kite, you might be able to pull that off, but with a balloon, that's not going to be very easy.
You'll need
no. I'll use that.
It'll be fun to bring it down though.
Weather
Shoot
balloon
with a flare gun.
No, I'll use the weather balloon, get it up above Marina Park, because I was thinking of San Francisco activation. You'll see it. News at 5. Ham balloon shot down at San Francisco.
Yeah, a tethered weather balloon full of hydrogen shot down. Oh, the humanity! Ted got it. Ted got it.
New
Only,
spy
only a
balloon.
35 can take down balloons, though.
New Chinese spy balloon spotted over California.
I wouldn't bother with the helium. Just fill it full of oxyacetylene.
There you go. Yep.
All right. Thank you, Josh, and everyone.
I don't know how much oxyacetylene has, like, how much usable lift that has. Is that
Well,
more?
I know someone who's
lift?
done it.
Acetylene's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say acetylene's got to be heavy. So it's is it lighter than air? Oxyacetylene?
Well, without the oxy bit.
It would be really heavy, yeah. But if you're considering you're trying to float it in the atmosphere, which is, I don't know, like 30% oxygen.
My dad floated a load of party balloons up into the roof at Rolls Royce with acetylene. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you go. Okay, so it's lighter than our atmosphere, at least.
He blew all the light fittings off the ceiling when they tried to get them down.
Yeah, so Ryan, I'm with you. It's kind of wasteful considering our shortage of helium. So go hydrogen, like I said. That's honestly, guys, that's what they use for the balloon launches. Is a lot of folks, those Pico balloons are using hydrogen. Works well. Works really well. And that I'm not being like, I was joking earlier, but I'm not joking. It's actually it's the right gas to use a lot of times, particularly if you're trying to get it in that space above commercial air traffic. That's what you want. You want the right balloon for the job, which is like the sushi balloons and hydrogen.
Not great for human
well,
transport, though, is it?
Hydrogen's safe to transport in its tank.
No. For use in human transportation, I mean.
Oh no, no.
Yeah,
Human no.
Hindenburg?
No, we're not doing.
That was the last.
Okay, my idea here was just a quick POTA activation with a blow party city balloon up on the end of the wire type thing.
So you will need 20 plus balloons to lift up 50-ish feet of very thin wire. You will be surprised how little those balloons will actually hold up. They don't pull a lot up. So keep that in mind. Like one of those tanks that you can buy of helium, which is not a good grade of helium. You would have to go to a proper like gas. There's all kinds of an air gas place. That they will have better quality helium, but you're going to pay a lot for it. And for just a POTA outing, it's probably not worth it. I would highly recommend you focus on the windy side of things and go get a kite. There are a number of like kites that will lift a decent payload. That's what you want.
Also, how surprisingly heavy a seemingly lightweight piece of wire will get when you've got 50 feet of it strung up in the air.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I was as I said, I was looking. What's funny about it is, Josh, you mentioned it in the live stream. I'm using one of the Vibroplex PAR infeds, the 10 through 80 antenna.
That might be a heavy wire to drag up with the balloon. In fact, that's way heavy because it's also coated. That's part of the reason why I use floral wires. There's no insulation. Super light.
The other thing you needed to, as advice, is you better have some pamphlets from the podcast because you will attract attention with a kite or a balloon.
Yeah, kite you'll have less issues with. People will see it, go, oh, it's just a kite. They won't. They'll just think it's kite line. But yeah. Thank you, DE2TRF. Thank you for the kind words there. Thanks for mentioning the channel. Hey, there's I think it's Drockles. I'm a new ham. Just finished my true SDX. Just a quick question. Have you ever used a booster to up your 12-volt battery voltage to more commonly required 13.8? I generally don't. I assume that if the radio says it works within 12 to 13.8, I just use whatever I've got. That likely will lead to less power output, but maybe we got some folks in the chat who want to comment on the true SDX or battery boosters.
So when it comes to battery boosters, I would say yes for any radio made before 2005, because some of those don't have particularly good power management inside.
Sure.
Something I just recently ran into with my FT100D. If it is not 13.8 volts, it will not run at full power. It'll just refuse to transmit. So, and it's
That's-
kind of a known issue.
That's a good point. Oh, there you go. What is DL2MAN in the chat? You're getting the straight answer from the man. Is he in the chat? I'm sorry. Am I?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is. Hey, what's up? Oh no, wait. That's manual. Wait. It says don't waste your time. Yes, it is. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Okay. Right on. He says don't waste your time with the battery booster. There we go. You got it. You heard it straight from the mouth of the man. So you can't expect a better answer than that. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being available to answer a question like that off the cuff. I whatever this man says, that's what you do with that radio. Very good. All right. Let's take a quick jump back in. I want to make sure, by the way, that's the beginning of the after chat, is we want to help out the new ham. So anybody here on the Discord, if you're a first time to the Discord or a new ham and you have a question, come forward, ask your question. It's a welcoming, warm environment. We want to help you out.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah, go for it. KK4TXB.
Hey, man, on that 905, is a PoE a separate device or is it built into the radio head?
It is my understanding that it's built into the radio head. But you're literally asking, I am brand new with this thing. I haven't assembled it yet, so I don't know.
Okay, very cool. And then the voltage, is it 48 or 24 volt?
Don't know. You have to look that up. I don't know. I'm sorry.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Chad Monin says, just a quick note of thanks for your live stream 73 from W8ABM. Well, thank you, Chad. Chad is a happy little tree here. Happy little tree. Thank you, Chad. All right. Anybody else first timer with a new, just wants to say hi or ask a question? Come forward, please.
Hey, Josh. KF0MCM, brand new after 3 days.
Oh, congratulations. Did you go technician? Technician and general, or what do you got?
No, I only got the technician's license just to begin with. I'm a 55-year-old retired guy, but I'm planning to move up.
Right
with
on.
your help, probably. With your help, probably.
I appreciate that. Thank you. You have a question for us, or you just want to say hi? It's your opportunity.
I just really wanted to say thank you for all the videos. I found you in the middle of my my training about a month ago, and I've watched so much of what you've put out, and it's just so comprehensive, and you really just seem like such a genuinely intelligent person. I mean, to do what you do, boy, you've really got a broad understanding.
I would say I'm broad but shallow. So thank you for that. I appreciate it, though. Thank you for
Josh,
the kind words.
somebody fooled.
Yeah, I've tricked you. I'm just kidding. But thank you. I appreciate that. Seriously, though, if you have a question, if anything's been bugging you about ham radio or you're thinking about buying something, feel free to drop a question. You can interrupt at any time or just go now if you've got something.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah. Hey.
So I take my test tomorrow, but I'm from the Vegas area. I plan on hiking mountains with my family to make contacts. I'm looking at mobiles. What would be your recommendation? The most predominant digital mode is DMR.
In your area? So you're telling me that's the dominant mode in your area?
Yes, that's the dominant mode.
I wish I could tell you. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the chat what that mobile radio is that does DMR. I reviewed it. I didn't love it. I found its interface was kind of clunky.
VG7?
Yeah, I think that. Say it again.
The Anytone 578.
Yeah, the Anytone one.
Mm-hmm.
Anytone 578. That's it. So it's fine, and I'm flavoring that, and please everybody take this the right way. I'm just not that big a fan of DMR. I don't use it very often. I don't like the user interfaces for the radios generally. That radio was fine, and the fact that it's one of the only mobile radios for DMR pretty much limits you to that radio. So it will do analog, and you can use it in a more traditional sense, and it'll also do DMR as well. If you're curious about like a man pack type setup for a mobile radio, you probably should go check out the Tech Prepper. He's doing a whole series on stuff like that. And also, Ryan gave a shout out to Jason, Ham Radio 2.0. Jason likes DMR. Well, Jason made a lot of DMR videos, particularly when he was getting started with making YouTube, and he still does. He's still very knowledgeable in that space. I don't know that there are other options, though, than that Anytone, so that kind of makes your question kind of easy, I think.
All right, yeah. Like I said, I'm new, so I haven't done much research into it, so it's good to know that there's only one to go with, I guess. So thanks a lot for the insight.
If you have to go DMR, then that is what your options is. If you don't want to go DMR, then yeah, there's a ton of analog radios and analog with other digital modes that are available to you that are likely less expensive too.
Roger. Yeah, that's something I'll take a look at when I dive more and more into it. It just seemed that DMR was the predominant thing here, so I didn't know if that would be a good one to go with for like a mobile setup for SOTA contacts or for really just talking to people in general.
No one's going to do DMR on SOTA. No, you can't do DM. Well, let me. It's not that you couldn't do an activation on DMR. Just tell people, spot yourself and say, I'm doing DMR simplex, blah, blah, blah. You might be able to get a contact or two, but if you're going to do summits on the air and you're going to do line of sight, you pretty much have to do analog FM.
Roger. Yeah, I misworded that pretty poorly. Meant to do like do SOTA with analog, and then if I wanted to just talk around the Las Vegas area while I was up there, I'd be able to do DMR because that seems to be, like I said, the predominant thing.
Are there people in Las Vegas that do SOTA activations with analog FM?
Not that, I mean, I'm still new, so I'm sure I'll figure this out as I go, but hopefully so. Not necessarily in it for like the competition side of it, I guess, but more or less just to experience, get the family out and, enjoy Mother Nature.
I understand the competition aspect of it. I'm wondering if you're even going to be able to activate if there are people that will chase you on VHF, UHF in that area. That would be my concern.
Roger. Okay, yep.
So out here in Southern California, 2-meter simplex is really, really popular. So you can activate a lot of the summits out here in and around Southern California, in and outside Los Angeles area, without any problem. I don't know what that's like in Las Vegas.
Doesn't Charlie? I mean, Charlie's not there. He's in Arizona, but
yes,
I think they've worked stations up as far north or that far north.
It's possible, and I'm sure they may coordinate that effort. I think when they're doing they have a day where it's like Summits on Fire or something like, I can't remember, and I apologize for not remembering, but they have a morning where they all go out to different summits and they all do peak to peak, point to point, summit to summit is what they call it, and yes, that they coordinate and they do VHF and UHF for a lot of that. That's true. But
60 meters.
Yeah, but that's not your just average SOTA activation, would be my guess. Also, I don't know, like, do you know how tall the summits are outside of Las Vegas that you'd be going to? Like, what kind of points would they be? Do you know?
Oh, gee, off the top of my head, not so much, but I believe they're like 3,000 to 4,000 feet, I believe.
Yeah, that's not that. Okay, that's not that tall, so it's probably going to be a 1-pointer or a 2-pointer.
Roger.
Well, the good news is that even as a technician, you have access to 10 meters, and 10 meters is absolutely popping right now. And so you could also consider just having a 10-meter setup, and you could get that done with QRP.
And then you
get that Anytone rig,
and then branch out into POTA.
Yeah, you could do POTA as well on 10 meters.
I have a comment here.
Go for the comment.
Yeah, so I've lived in Las Vegas. I don't live there now, but most of the peaks around that area, you're going to have a good view of the Las Vegas metropolitan area. And once you have that good view of that, you're definitely going to be able to probably get your 4 contacts. A lot of times what I'll do here in Seattle is I'll get on the big repeater and say, I'm on this peak, but usually on Saturdays around here in the summertime when everybody's climbing mountains, it's busy. So you don't have to really worry about it. So yeah, Las Vegas is pretty good. I mean, you can go up Mount Charleston, that's 8,000 feet.
There you go.
Or some of the other ones up in Red Rocks and stuff. Yeah. So you only need 4 contacts to activate a peak.
Yep.
And so usually you can grab those pretty easily on Simplex.
Is Simplex, do you remember in Las Vegas, were there a lot of people on 2-meter Simplex?
No,
I didn't.
there's really not.
didn't
I
do
mean,
a
from
ton
what I've seen from like online SDRs, there's not many people on Simplex. But if you get on a repeater and call out and tell them, I'm sure they would probably switch over to help you out.
That's true. Probably start talking on that repeater and make yourself known a little bit, and they might be a little bit more likely to help you.
How is 2-meter SSB in California? Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, they've got a standing daily net that they do on single sideband. It's a thing, but it's not massively popular. But it's definitely a thing.
Okay.
Right on.
In NorCal, it's almost dead.
Yeah, it's really hit or miss. I'm lucky that a lot of the high frequency stuff, there's a huge demographic of folks that are active out here. So I am pretty lucky in that case, but it's different for everybody.
Hey, Josh, I had an interesting contact.
What's that, Shane?
I said I had an interesting contact about 3 weeks ago now on 10 meters. I worked Galveston Island State Park on 10-meter FM.
Oh, from here?
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so you got some tropo
And I worked
or something.
2 Victor Echo 5s on 29.350 FM on 10 meters.
And was Galveston Island Jason?
No, it was N5YIZ.
Oh, okay.
He was coming in pretty good, and I was only using 40 watts.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, let's go back to newcomers. Anybody here for the first time that'd like to say hi or ask a question? Come now.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, is that Tooper? Go for it.
Well, you told me to come back. I'm the wonderful Zygu antenna guy.
Ah, okay. What was the question again? Refresh my memory. Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay, catch us up. What's the updates? Sorry. All my brain gears are synced up. We're good.
All right.
Who said I was smart?
Shallow and smart.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Shallow and broad.
So it ran okay for a couple days, and then was showing the issues again. So I went ahead and updated firmware, and now the filters suck, but the radio and the tuner work great.
Oh, does the firmware screw with the filters? Does anybody know? Where's Andy?
Yeah, they put out a new update on the filters, so instead of being able to adjust the bandwidth on either side, there's like 2 separate bandwidths now that work together, and it's weird. But
like
I would much rather have an antenna tuner than the filters. So life is good.
So the short answer was we got a partial fix from doing the factory reset from last week, but then it started acting up again. And you did the Andy K-Booty idea and updated the firmware, and that seems to have solved the problems. How long has it been consistent?
Oh, probably 4 days or so.
Okay. Good.
So we'll keep playing with it and see what happens. But just wanted to let you know I came back, like you said.
Excellent. Well, thank you for the update. I appreciate that. Okay, Aaron Radford asks, where can you find info about contests going on right now? Last weekend, our middle school club was on 10 meters full of contesters. They kept giving numbers at the end, but we couldn't figure them out. So, yeah, you go to the contest calendar. If you search for 7-day contest calendar, you'll find a website that will not only list a calendar of events, you could do weekly or you could do the whole month of contests. But if you click on the contest, it'll take you to the website and explain, or is it 8-day? 8-day contest calendar? Whatever. Then it'll explain the details of what that contest is. So, why would it be an 8-day contest calendar, Don?
I'm on it right now. I don't know why it's 8 days, but that's what it says.
Oh,
it's
okay.
contestcalendar.com though.
Yeah.
But they have 8 day and 5 week.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
So go to contestcalendar.com.
Just keep in mind, I think all those times are in UTC.
Yes, they are in UTC time. All right. Anybody else? First time like to ask a question? Yeah, go ahead.
AB9UZ. Hey, I don't have a question, but my fiance does. She's not a ham yet, but she's trying to get started.
Okay. So what do they want to know?
passing the mic over?
Maybe.
1 sec. Yeah, I just gotta show you put that push to talk. Push that right there.
Hi. I got the book. Trying to learn for the test, but there's so much to learn from the different radios and all the codes. How do you remember it all? How do you process it all?
Comment?
Okay, go ahead. Comment.
Yeah, there's this guy named Josh who put out a series of videos on learning ham radio. I'd watch those. They're pretty good.
I did drop a video series like recently on study prep, and I only cover the right answers to the questions. And the idea behind that is you go and make yourself an account on hamstudy.org and you take practice exams. And if you go through first and you read the questions, there's a little dog-eared page on the website. And if you click on it, it gives you the background of why they're asking the question or what the question is about. And that a little bit of context going along with the right answer usually helps a lot.
And if you go to hamstudy.org and you run through their practice tests, one of the nice things about that is if you choose to do online testing, most people use hamstudy.org to generate the test. So you'll be very familiar with the format and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's funny, we actually do have a ham study, and I do believe we did the paid version. So yeah, that there is that.
Hamstudy.org is free. It's a free website. You might be talking about ham radio.
It might be something about. Yeah, that's ham radio prep then. But yeah. She also does have a thing on ham study.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hold on. Let's get some more information from them. Have you taken any of the practice exams, and how's that going?
No, I haven't yet. I do second shift at work, so I've been overwhelmed.
Yeah, the piece of advice I would give is reading the book is great, but if you sit down and you kind of just go from beginning to end, I'm not exactly sure how much of that you're going to retain. Sometimes taking a practice exam, like just one a day, it doesn't take that long to get through them. Will start to, I don't know, tune your brain into kind of what it's talking about. And if you use the book as a reference guide to kind of help you understand the context of what those questions are, then it helps. Also, if you have some radio background or experience with some of these radios, at least from a listening point of view.
She does not.
Okay, that helps because then you kind of get what they're talking about. Like it's like trying to take a driver's test and having no concept of what a car is, right? If you were like an alien that just landed on Earth and we immediately said you've got to pass a driving test, they'd even be like, what the hell's all this, right? They wouldn't know what the context is of some of it. So just keep that in mind. Try to take your time with it, I guess.
Yeah, she's nodding her head. And for myself, that I read the books for the Gordon West books from cover to cover for every one of my licenses, and it worked for me. But her learning style is a little different.
Yeah. So you could try my videos. The books are fine. Hamstudy.org is really good, particularly with the little click button things, because then you only really need to focus on what you're wrong on. A lot of that stuff is common sense, I think, but everybody's different.
Yep, and I'll get her a link to your videos. So awesome. Thank you, Josh.
Also understand
the secret about studying for your license, the fact that the exemplar questions are public.
Sorry, there was two people talking over each other. Who was the first? Was it Scuba Steve or who? Or Scuba Steve just has a toggled on mic. Can you turn off your mic, Scuba Steve? I don't know if you're hot micing. Who is the first person? Sorry, somebody said comment. Let's go with that first.
Hey, Josh, I was just going to say, isn't the grand secret that the exemplar questions are public? They're published every year.
The question pool updates every 5 years, or however many years. 4 years, 3 years, something like that.
The questions are not private, I think, is what you're trying to say. Yes.
Not to sell against your stuff, but Ham Radio 2.0 has some great videos of a class that was given PowerPoint based that I thought helped immensely. immensely on my general.
And that's a really good option as well. I mean, he shot the club that was doing the class. So you're literally watching a class as though you were kind of attending it, which is really, really good. That's another way to go. What's your learning style? Do you know? Since you said she learns a slightly different way.
My learning style is more of a mix of visual and hearing, seeing it done.
Yeah.
And hearing it done at the same time.
This goes back to the whole, if you have a prior knowledge of operating a radio or using one of the radios, then this all makes a lot more sense. You might want to, and it's not going to cover things like handheld, like walkie-talkie type stuff, Baofangs, but you might want to sit down with like WebSDR or Kiwi SDR. It's free radio software that you can run on a computer, and you can literally like use the radio, hop around and try different modes of operation out, and you can listen to that while you're potentially reading the book or whatever. But I can understand how someone like you, which is kind of like how I am, I usually need to see something demonstrated or fumble through it myself physically for me to really retain the knowledge. I can't just read it and have like rote memorization.
Yeah, I have a really good memory on that, like that, and that's why it works for me. But other than that, I'm visual and kinesthetic myself, so I can understand it too.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, hopefully that's somewhat helpful. Was there somebody else that had something? I'm sorry, there was two people who was talking, so go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, make sure you understand why the right answer is right and why the wrong answers are wrong. That will help with the learning as well.
I often say don't even focus on the wrong answers. Just focus on the right answers.
Whenever I went through this on
Also,
50...
a little trick.
Guys, you're talking all over each other. If somebody's talking, give them a second. So, sorry. Somebody said also when I was learning. Go ahead.
Yes, I think that was me. I'm sorry. I try not to.
You guys are doing it again. Frank, go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Josh. This doesn't help with hands-on learning, but something I was taught is you Sharpie out with black Sharpie all the wrong answers. So you just have question and the right answer. And that, it helps a little bit.
There you go. Okay. Sorry. Now the next person. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't see who it was.
Yes.
James.
Yeah, my push to talk is okay. I was going to say that I'm 50 and I have a more of a practical background in stuff, but you have to realize for the technician, there is no real practice unless you are right up next to your husband, partner, working through all this stuff. You're not going to understand it necessarily in a practical way to take the test. Don't think that book's going to tell you everything that you need to know. Just get an understanding of the broad understanding and look at the right answers. And then you'll learn a whole lot more once you have the license.
Yeah. It was said multiple times in the chat that remember that the license is kind of like your ticket to learn. You have much more to learn, particularly if you want to be effective in communicating or using the radio. And that'll come from doing, which it sounds like is more in your lane anyway, is doing and using instead of just rote memorization. So likely it's best to just get it out of the way so you can start on your real journey, which is the practical use of radio.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm getting a thumbs up. Also, I'm her future wife. I wrecked my vocal cords in the Air Force, so it is what it is.
Oh, no problem. And sorry if we screwed up on
No, you're good.
that.
You're good.
Sorry about that.
I never fault somebody for not knowing.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to get on my radio here. There we go. Anyone else new first timer with a question would like to say hi? Go for it.
Hi.
Got a Rick with a hi. How's it going?
Yes, hi Josh. Rick, Victor Echo 2 Delta Whiskey here in Canada. I've been to ham radio in Canada for about 10 years, and I was wondering, my license is basic with honors, which gives me access to all modes, all frequencies. The limitation is power output, and I cannot also repeat on the same install a repeater on the same band. That's pretty much my limitation. My question is, what certification should I aim for or get in the United States to have equivalent or superior?
There's nothing that lines up explicitly the same as Canada. Like, we don't have technician with honors. Like, that's your first level gives you access to HF, and the only difference is your power level is kind of held down a little bit, which, to be honest, I think is the better way. I wish we would adopt something like that, because I would much rather get technicians a piece of the HF action more than they have now than not. The closest next level from technician would be general, and that would give you HF privileges.
I heard a couple people yell extra. I was wondering why, and what's the difference between general and extra?
Because then you never need to worry about it again. Yeah. You don't have to worry about anything. You get all the access.
Canada does that anyway, right? They don't have limited bands or limits within the band.
You
right?
have to get honors to get HF privileges in Canada.
Yeah, but he said he had basic with honors.
Yeah, but so if you don't achieve honors, then you don't have HF.
Right, but my point is, when you do have HF privileges in Canada, there's no place you can't go, right?
Do they have frequency restrictions within the HF bands in Canada?
No, we just have to respect the band plan imposed to ham radios, and it's pretty much the same bands as you guys, except maybe for a few exceptions, which I'm not aware of.
Yeah, that's the difference here between general and extra, is the band limits within the bands.
Right.
And occasionally, I think, is 60 meters limited to extra, but maybe that's not even true.
I don't know.
I don't pay attention anymore.
But I think the answer to your question is specifically general would get you there. There would be some frequency spaces that you couldn't go because general is kind of compartmentalized within the entire 20-meter frequency space. For instance, there's places where the extras can go that generals cannot. So if you were willing, you could go to extra, but that might not be worth your time per se.
Comment?
Good.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
Don't they have a reciprocal license anyway? So if he's just visiting America, then he doesn't actually need to do anything.
That's true, but he didn't say that specifically, so I didn't answer it. But yeah, go ahead.
That was what I was going to mention as well. Are you traveling, or are you just looking to get your your license in the States? Out of curiosity.
No, I was aware of the traveling reciprocal arrangement, but I wanted to get my certification because I was planning on moving to the States.
Yeah, because it's interesting because if you're trying to, so I have my advanced in Canada, which is the extra equivalent extra in the States. And when I travel, actually, even as a basic with honors, if you travel, you are able to use the extra portion of a lot of the bands as a basic.
Yeah.
And so you could call back to Canada. That's what I ended up doing on a contest weekend where I couldn't find some space to operate.
Well, then,
yeah.
Well, the answer is easy then. If you're moving to the States, then just get your extra and then you're done, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the other weird thing there is if you hold a license in the States, then you are subject to that license. So if you're an advanced in Canada and you get your general in the States, then when you're in the States, you're a general. You know what I mean? There's the equivalent to your license class when you travel, but unless you actually hold the license, and then you're equivalent to that license. So look at it carefully if you're going to do a license. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the info. Well, I'll probably gonna aim for extra because I did not aim for advanced here in Canada, not because I didn't want to. I just wanted to get the basics and basic with honors, and I had 100% on the exam. So I've got a general knowledge, and by listening to this channel, I pick up a whole lot of more knowledge that is probably going to help me to achieve extra if I apply or if I get the certification. Thanks for answering the answers, Guy.
Why not
Yeah.
both?
Yeah. Mike, I think, said comment. Go ahead.
Yeah, it generally is really comparative. If you've already got a license, then general is really easy to sort of, once you work out, and I'm English, but I have a general. Once you work out the style of questioning and you can answer, get a general, and then you can work your way up to an extra. But that's how I did it, and that's all, because general is really relatively simple compared to most licenses. So it literally is probably a couple of hours study, and you'll know enough of the general and what they'd already mentioned to the previous question. Just go to that site, do a couple of practice tests. You'll find you'll get a general. You'll probably get enough knowledge to pass the general test within a day or two. Just practicing the tests with that site. And then, of course, you can always work up to extra once you're in America.
Yeah, that makes sense. Fair enough.
All right.
Thank you.
Good. Good questions so far. We're getting a lot of good ones tonight. We got a lot of good ones last week too. Last week was the really long question, like one question that takes a really long time to answer. Also good, because there's a lot of people that have issues with that. So thank you. And then a lot of good fast fire ones. So that's also helpful. Anyone else first time to the Discord after chat, or just has a question? Go ahead. Let's start taking them.
Hi. KE2 AWF.
Let's go with the was it KB2? Go ahead. Or KD2, what was it?
That's Kilo Echo 2 Alpha Whiskey Foxtrot. I was wondering if any of you guys ever participated in the national traffic system, and if you've ever made a video on it, or you know where to go for that information to get more involved with it.
So I'll answer that one easy. I have not made a video, and I've only talked about it in like passing as part of Ham Nation segments. Is there anyone in this chat that has done that?
I have not, but I have seen somebody. One of our friends in YouTube has done a video on it. I just can't remember.
It's still a thing. I've had people that have passed me messages, passed my wife messages when she passed her technician. They sent a bunch of congratulation messages over the system, which is great. But I have not personally done one, and I believe. Oh yeah, there you go. So, Thank you, Taylor, for dropping the link. In fact, I'll pull that up so we can all take a look at it.
By the way, Josh, Ria's in the chat. I bet she knows.
Yeah, I already popped up one of her comments. Hey, Ria, how are you doing? Feel free to join us on the Discord after chat if you'd like to add your thoughts. You're always welcome. You're already in the server. Yeah, she may have thoughts, but there's the national traffic system. There is a link that was posted on the Discord. I will pop it off on the YouTube side as well, so you guys can follow it. There is standard net times, I believe, standard times for handling the traffic, which is possibly here. No, that's third-party traffic. That's not it.
What is that advertisement?
The build jaw-dropping electronics at warp speed? I don't know. The AWRL has some wild ads on their website.
When I got licensed, I actually got a traffic message through the NTS congratulating me on getting my license.
I did as well.
Nice. Let's see. So there is an online. There's an online net directory. Net directory database. Let's see if we can find one. Nets are registered to be published in the AWR net directory to register a net, search a net, update an existing net. Let's search for a net. Let's see. We want. Let's go with state nets, California. Anytime, any day, the number of nets. Oh yeah, see, there's all kinds of them. So those are all traffic
Ria
nets.
commented on it.
Uh-oh, here we go. We're getting updated info. NTS is undergoing a revamp right now, but I've done NTS messages through the nets. They also do digital traffic. Cool. And obviously, you know, some of the original way this was done is Morse code, CW, and they still do that.
Yeah, my welcome message said radiogram on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a form you fill out.
Mm-hmm. Why don't we look that up? We can do that too. Huzzah. So this, you know who we covered this? We did this with Amanda from Ham Nation. She talked about all of this. And anyone can fill this out, and you can send a radiogram to someone. And they don't have to be a ham, per se. At least I don't think they do, even though it says amateur station. I'm pretty sure they don't. And like I said, I'm not very knowledgeable about this space, so I'm not going to pretend like I've got insider knowledge here. But I will say though, for everybody on FT8, 20 meters is hopping right now. So if you wanted to make a contact, now would be the time. It looks like it's a pretty good evening here before things start dropping off. But I'm also gray line, so that's probably why too. All right. Oh yeah, look at that. There we go. Now we're gray line. All those pink lines are stations that copied me right now. All right. Anybody else in here, there are first timers would like to say hi or ask a question? Go ahead.
Howdy.
Hi. Go ahead. Hi.
I'm just curious if you've heard about the Caribou SDR light thing for the Raspberry Pi.
Is it a hat?
Yep.
Yeah, it apparently does up to 6 gigahertz. I've got one that I just received, so I can't test it on those bands though, because I'm only on a Australian Foundation license, unfortunately.
You can receive though with it, right? How's the receive?
I do not yet have an antenna capable of receiving anything in SHF.
What about just the regular bands? You know, like VHF. How does it compare? Do you have an RTL as well to compare it with?
I've got an MSI SDR. I was just curious if Josh had been able to have a look at them yet.
Apparently, I have opened this link before, but I don't remember it exactly. Have they been out for a while?
No, they just started shipping.
Okay, that might be. I probably heard about it when they were starting to talk about it. Really quick from D. Michael, could be Dr. Michael G. Eslon, said gratitude for the help passing my first time. Well, congratulations. I'm glad you've joined us in the ranks of the ham radio fraternity. All right. I don't know. Ooh, Kraken SDR. That's what I really want. I'm going to borrow Rubicon's. I'm going to do a video when I borrow his. Speaking of that, I got to catch up with him. I got sidetracked by a bunch of stuff going on, but I would. So I have so many SDRs now to the point where like I don't really want any more unless it's going to do something new and interesting. The fact that it runs on a Pi W is kind of cool though.
And it's receive and transmits. So
yep, I was about to say it also transmits up to 6 gigahertz. So that makes it very interesting for the price.
Up to 6 gigahertz is not bad. What's it put out on 6 gigahertz? Like half a watt, if that?
Oh, very little.
I think it's 0.2 watts.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
More than the Hack RF, though, and probably cleaner as well.
Ask Hayden to send you some traffic.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna leave that up. I'll decide. $100 isn't bad if you think about. I've got like 3 or 4 Pi Ws kicking around. What's the difference between the two? The Caribou Lite and the Caribou Lite ISM.
The ISM can't do a bunch of the ham frequencies. It's actually a much more locked down version.
Oh, okay. Well, then we won't consider that. That is not for me. All right.
I'm planning to build it into a sort of little cyberdeck doomsday computer type thing.
Yeah, if you build a cyberdeck, we want to see it. You come back and show us. I definitely love checking out cyberdecks.
Where's the low pass filters?
They're micro.
We ain't got
I don't know.
filters.
No, I bet there's not any. I bet that's something that's to come later from what I remember reading about this.
So the thing to keep in mind for everybody, it's not $150 like and that's it. You got to provide your Raspberry Pi, which it's a Pi Zero. So if you've got one, then okay, cool. Then yeah, why not? I'm not against this. I'm not saying I'm against this in any way. I think it's pretty cool. I just have a lot of SDRs, and I can really only operate one radio at a time, and I'm trying to not fall down the super nerd rabbit hole this year. I'm trying to again reascend the mountain of CW. Oh, so for everybody who doesn't know what a cyber deck is, go YouTube it. Go YouTube cyber deck, and it is like if you fell in love, if you always wanted a Pit Boy on your arm from like Fallout, that is like that mixed with like Neuromancer, like cyberpunk type stuff. They usually include like a Raspberry Pi, and they do all kinds of funky stuff. Yeah, the cyber decks are really cool. Okay, very good. Anyone else want to say hi for the first time or ask us a question? Go for it.
Hey, Josh, I had another question for you. What SDR do you recommend for a newbie?
For transmit? Or just
receive only. I don't want to put myself out there too much and do the wrong things.
How much you want to spend?
Is $500 a budget?
Oh, God, yeah, you can get, yeah. For a receive only, an SDR play would be like
a Pluto Plus.
There are a decent chunk of them out there. Somebody already mentioned SDR Play Duo. I don't know if you need the Duo. The Duo is dual receivers. An SDR Play DX. Oh, they also mentioned DX. The DX is really good, but you can get away with an RSP1A and you'd be fine. It's a good SDR.
With your technician license, you can use the Pluto Plus as a 2-meter, 70-centimeter radio. It's full duplex as well.
Yeah, but it puts out micro watts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very, very light.
And Don has a good point. You may want the Duo for diversity receive, but that would require setting up 2 differently polarized antennas, horizontal and vertical polarized.
Mm-hmm. Unless you want to buy an Onan.
Yeah, or the Hermes, right? $500. You get yourself a Hermes.
Has single antenna.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you have to have 2 ADCs. And that's the neat thing about the Duo is, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the Duo that has 2 ADCs in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The full name is SDR Duo, right?
Yep.
Got her. Thank you.
Oh man, somebody's got a big.
Josh, I just worked you on FT8 on 20 meters.
Yeah, we're getting out pretty serious right now, even past Gray Line, which is great. 20 is probably going to be a decent band tonight. So excellent. If I can stay on 20, I know I'm doing good because then I've got the beam versus 40, which I only have the dipole. Right on. Okay. Go ahead.
I need to get back to the shaft. Again. Sitting here cooking my London boy.
You're cutting out kind of hard.
And roboting.
Yeah, you've got some kind of signal degradation happening. Okay, and
is this any better?
Go again. Do you have a question? Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I got to get back to the shack to work you on FT8 again.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm there if you want to try. Let's take a moment. I don't see a ton of YouTubers. We obviously said hi to Rhea. I don't know that Rhea's in the after chat. I will check in a second. But I do see one ham radio for non-techies. Scott, are you on mic there?
I am. I'm actually back in my my studio again.
I heard. How things coming along for you?
It's getting a little bit better each day. Get a little stronger and able to do a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And the healing is going okay. I'm just really, really bored. So I'm not allowed to do much except sit on the couch and rot. So
yeah,
I've been learning a lot of stuff and had a lot of time to catch up on my YouTube videos.
Oh,
so I'm watching lots of YouTube videos on ham radio stuff. So yeah, this is pretty good so far.
This is one of those situations where you had probably hoped you had booked a couple of days where you only recorded, right? So you had like a backlog of stuff to edit, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. I actually managed to get some pictures of my car today too.
Oh, cool. Oh, not cool. I guess we're talking about the car that got damaged.
Yeah, I'm uploading them now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's So if I and I don't know how much you want to relive on this, so if you don't want to talk about it, I understand.
Oh, that's fine by me. I mean, last time I saw the truck, it was upside down and I was stuck in it. So.
That's where I was going with this. Is you got rolled, right? This is not just you were T-boned and also rolled.
Yeah, it pretty much broke every window in the car except for maybe one. I think there's like one or two windows that didn't get broken. Anything covered in blue plastic was shattered and destroyed.
Jeez.
I had to exit the vehicle through the windshield, but somehow the sunroof survived. Go figure.
Dang.
That sunroof is made of serious stuff. Oh, it's a bummer too, because it's a. I love that style of Forerunner. No, Forerunner.
Oh, it's Forerunner. Okay.
Yeah, those are good looking.
Yeah, the box looks pretty solid, so maybe your 400 did survive.
Yeah, I've got it in the. It's my friends went over and took stuff out of the car for me, and the 400 was one of the pieces. I don't know where the antenna went.
Oh,
yeah, the antenna and the mount are way gone, so I'll have to plug it up, and hopefully the 400 did survive. I really don't want to buy another one, especially at today's prices, and that was such a great radio. Just a really, really fantastic radio.
Yeah.
Break.
You're making it break.
Hey, Josh, I just realized I do have a very difficult question to ask you.
Can you wait until Scott's done? Hold on, we'll come back to you. I'm going to go through and say hi to some of the YouTubers.
You're being very generous with your time. It's really quite impressive.
No, it's good. We do this every week. It's fine. I just want to make sure we get through everybody, and then don't worry, we'll answer all the questions. I'm coming back to that. So Scott, sorry about that. Did you?
No problem.
Yeah. So how are you? I know you came out of surgery like this weekend, basically, right?
Yeah, I was in surgery. I think on Friday. It was either Friday or Saturday. I don't remember now, but yeah, I'm sitting upright. I'm able to lay in bed now, and I can turn my head a little bit. Just doing my thing. But it's gonna be a little bit of a road to recovery. But try and look for a new vehicle and hopefully get another Forerunner because I don't know if I told you, but this is the second one I've gotten T-boned in. The second one I've survived flipping in. Yeah.
I didn't know this is the second time.
Yeah, you want a safe car where you're pretty much guaranteed to live. You get hit. This is the way to go.
Scott, could I propose a different vehicle, possibly one that you won't get T-boned in? Right? Well, maybe it's the car, not you. maybe half
the people in Houston should move somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Don disagrees with you.
Color. Stay in Sugarland.
Yeah. But I think since I've had such good, if you can call it good luck, survivability, the Forerunner I think is really the way to go. So I'm looking at another one, and there's so much space. They're great overlander vehicles.
Yep.
They're great for a mobile ham shack. There's so much versatility. It's the Glock of SUVs.
The Glock of SUVs. I like that.
Was that a frame on?
It's a
body on frame.
Yes.
Yeah.
Body on frame.
Do you remember what you said on morphine?
I have no idea, man. I think I told you guys that I was I managed to get I managed to get Discord to work on my phone last week.
Yep. I remember that. You did that. Yes, you did. You got it working.
Josh said congratulations on getting it working while you're on morphine.
On morphine. You're the first person to do that successfessly. Yeah. I think
does that come with a badge or something? Or
yeah, we'll figure out a Discord role for you. Yeah, Discord from hospital.
Great.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, great show tonight, Josh. I really enjoyed it. It was nice to see this stuff, and I agree with everything you had said on there about your selection of radios and antennas and gear and things like that. I know you weren't going into the entire echelon of what you could bring on a camping trip. That would be like a 3-hour show.
I know.
But
yeah.
Just sticking to ham radio stuff, I think you nailed it.
Well, thank you. And that was the difficulty is when I start getting to the 20 slide mark in the slide package, I know I'm already close to an hour. And there was a lot of stuff that I didn't even really hit because we blow through an hour. Everybody that live streams, particularly for ham radio, there's so much meat on that bone that if you really dive in, you're easily going to sail over an hour without any problem.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you get back to it. I'm going to continue listening and watching, and I'll interact with the chat as we go along. I don't want to take up all the time here. Just a lot of other people have questions that need to be answered.
I appreciate the update. And by the way, you sound really good. You sound like your old self. So hopefully you're on the mend. You're probably still having a little bit of pain, but I appreciate. Hopefully you're going the right direction there. So glad to hear from you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I think a lot of our friends I think are busy this weekend, but thanks Scott for being on. But I think you know what? I'm gonna stop by James really quick. James Hannibal, one Quirky QRP, right? He's next in line. James, are you on the mic there? He might not be. He might only be listening. We'll come back to James.
Hey, Josh, quickly, someone in chat's asking, what's the pop-out that you have for Grid Tracker that's underneath or above your waterfall? What pop-out is that?
It's just if you're looking at my screen right now, it's the little file thing with what looks like a metal. If you click it, it pops out the call roster. It's just the call roster. Yeah. That can be sorted by basically anything. Call sign grid, the DXCC entity. You can actually add filters to only see certain folks. If they are a solid orange bar, that means I think you don't have the location, but I have Cuba. If they have a yellow box around the call sign, you don't have that call. So that's how that works. Yeah. So okay, there you go.
Hey Josh, I'm here.
Oh, okay. So James, you've been up to some shenanigans. So you came up with your new mat, among other things, but I think you're also working on some other fun stuff. What's going on? You want to mention anything?
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. So I made a. Are you talking about the dish?
Yeah.
Okay, so it kind of started out as a joke, and then I tried it and it worked. So it's a broccoli steamer that I am utilizing as a satellite dish, like in the movie E.T.
Yes.
And so I mounted a tripod on it and a phone mount. And it all started because I got the iPhone 14 and I was playing with the satellite communication capabilities on it. And I went to Idaho, and there was a lot of cloud cover, a lot of snow, built a snow cave, and then I realized, hey, I wonder, will it work in the snow cave? And it wasn't working, and then I started playing with this dish, and darn thing works. So it's a passive reflector for an iPhone, or for like like a Spot X Messenger or a Garmin InReach, basically anything 1.3 gigahertz and up. And it's a fun little reflective dish.
So put me into the headspace on this one. So you're like, I'm gonna come up with a cool April Fool's Day gag, right? Is that how this started?
That's kind of how it started. It started with playing with the satellite ops on the phone, and of course I'm lazily sitting indoors, and I'm like, it's not working. It's not working indoors. What can I do?
Right.
And I thought, well, hey, I'll do what they do in E.T. That'll be that, and then I could do like a April Fool's joke out of it down the road.
Right.
And then it worked, and so I still posted it on April. I posted it today, anyways. But it's like it's a joke, but it's not a joke because the thing actually works.
So he takes it out of the broccoli steamer, and he goes from having a 4 satellite sync on JPRS to like 1. That's not great signal, and then watch, it puts it back. He's got 1 signal. Now watch what happens. They'll all come the other. So you found out that it actually works. That was hilarious. Really, really cool.
Yeah. So because it says it in the video, but just regular GPS. I guess it's called level 1. The old school GPS satellites operate on 1.5 gigahertz.
Yeah.
And all the satellite comms, all those gadgets you can buy from Garmin or Spot or the iPhone, they all are on 1.6. So it's fully compatible.
Yeah, I love it. I'm gonna find your where's your reference cards? This guy, the reference mat. So the other thing he's got going, and we showed it last week, and I'm gonna work on something for this. Really cool reference mat for new hams. I think this is really cool. So if you may not want to solder on this, like the solder in a hot iron would go right through this because it's neoprene, but it's like the Glock mags, or the Glock mats. Like so many YouTubers have those, disassembled firearm type of mat. It's the same kind of concept here. Really, really cool too. So James, you've been having fun out there, man. Always literally quirky radio stuff. So good for you.
Definitely
gotta try that with the
905. I'm slapping that mat on everything. The design I did. My wife helped me do that design, by the way. She's a Photoshop whiz.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say it's a really good design, really nicely done. So I hope that does well. So yeah, thanks for being on the after chat. Appreciate it. All right, so let's
I will be the dish. I might go so far as to I've been in talks with a manufacturing plant to produce them without the holes,
right?
And actually make a real product out of it.
Yeah, because if it doesn't have the holes, it'd be even more effective. Yeah, why not?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
I wonder if you could make Summits on the air, like portable dish for the 905 with that.
You'd have to have the feed.
Funny.
You'd have to have the feed like in front. You'd have to build some kind of thing.
You could do it. It's another level of Jenkopotamus technology, I think.
Yeah, it's a U for ground plate.
Yeah.
I was playing with it on Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, walking down the street, aiming it back at my house. It works. Yeah, I mean, I used to take old Dish Network dishes, and I'd take my Palm Pilot and tear off the feed cone, and then rubber band my Palm Pilot on the arm, and go like a football field away and send Bluetooth messages back and forth between me and my dad between two satellite dishes.
I love it. Oh man, old technology, dude. We Palm Pilots. So that goes back to that whole the hacker laptop thing is so same kind of thing, like that deep love of that old technology when you were a kid that you couldn't buy because you didn't have the money, but you wanted it really bad. I love that, James.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very cool.
I just bought myself a Palm Pilot, just trying to relive my youth.
I bought a handspring visor or something or other, the red one, and I've been having a blast trying to find the old handspring.
Oh, the old modules. It's like the Game Boy.
Yes, the modules are the tricky thing. It's easy to find the handspring. It's tough to get the little back, whatever they call it, the handspring. Is it a hand? I don't remember what the
handspring springboards.
Springboard.
It's like buying a convertible just to have SpaceX in your car.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
I had the module I had the GPS module, I had the modem module, I had the Ethernet module, and I had the MP3 module.
Oh, you're just showing off, man. That's super cool. I love it. All right, James. Well, thanks for hanging out. If anything comes up, or if you have an answer, feel free to dive in there for anything as we go back to questions. But first, before we do that, I'm not sure if Ria has been on the After Chat voice before or not. But Ria, if we have not officially welcomed you in the past, allow me to welcome you now. Ria Jaram is joining us in 2RJ. How are you doing, Ria? Maybe? Oh, Ria might be on voice or on mute. You have to set a PTT, but I can lift that for you. So hold on. Let me see if I can give you the no PTT. Or she's just hanging out.
I thought she was getting out of ham radio.
No, now she's gonna. Now she's really gonna respond.
Wait a minute. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we hear you now. Go for it.
Okay, sorry. No, I'm not getting out of ham radio. I just got out of the ARL, so I'm gonna enjoy ham radio more now.
Yeah, you get to enjoy your time, right?
Yeah, but well, I'm here. I've been on your after chat. The first time I actually was on your stream
when we did the interview. Yeah. Okay, I wasn't sure, that was so long ago. So, well, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, well, thank you. I've been, it's been interesting. I'm just, you guys kept me company when I was making dinner, so it was pretty good. Just a few new things. Next week I'm gonna, you're gonna find out where I'm going next because I did leave the ARL effective Friday.
You posted a video. You're going to Baofeng, you said.
Yeah, I'm going to Baofeng. I'm going to be there. their new product development guru, and we're going to make some new radios. We're going to make Baofeng great again. I'm going to tour the factory in China and all sorts of stuff.
Yep.
I was about to do Baofeng buys Kenwood.
Yes.
Oh, that would be ridiculous. I don't think that would ever happen.
Well, DJI
You
bought
never know.
Hasselblad and a few others, so
Kenwood acquires Baofeng.
But Kenwood's huge.
Bonsai Baofeng.
Kenwood's just a tiny. If you're talking like amateur radio Kenwood, I don't know that they would sell the brand name because the brand name of Kenwood is so strong in other areas, right? Hasselblad, though, that's now you're dipping into photography and stuff, which I love too. That was a big one that DJI got. That was a wild one.
I know a lot of ex-DJI people from EcoFlow, so basically, they have some stories to tell. They're a very interesting company and what they're doing. So, but yeah, so I'm here. And thanks for the welcome and the help with this push to talk thing. I'm on my phone, so I don't know how to work this thing.
I think I removed PTT for you, so you should just be able to talk.
Have you seen DJI's agriculture drones? They can literally lift people.
Yes, I've actually trained a few people on them. So
I thought you were about to say you trained drones to pick up people.
I saw a video of someone in Asia modifying the compartment to hold a human and lifting themselves with it. Not recommended, but
that's scary.
I just imagined you could train an AI eagle where it would just track people down and just pick them up with a claw and just carry them somewhere.
Flying cars.
Nice.
No, this is like terrorism, not like cars.
Well, this week Elon Musk and others are talking about the dangers of AI, so we better watch out.
Yeah. Everybody knows my feeling on Elon. I don't think I've been
Well, it's not just Elon; it's others, And some people are really out there, but I don't think it's going to be a big threat. But you never know.
I think they haven't figured out how to monetize it yet. That's why they want everybody to slow down until they can figure out how to sell it to people.
Josh, I like you more every time I listen to you. I don't particularly dislike Elon Musk, but I think he's got ulterior motives. And I've actually written a book about AI. I'll send you a link, sir.
Oh, cool. I would like to check that out. So I will be really clear. I have never said that Elon is not good at marketing and being a brand. Well, sometimes he's not the best brand ambassador. My issues are always on the technology that he trots out that he's particularly behind. Things like the Hyperloop. They dropped the white paper on that years ago, and I was like, nope, this will never work. This is not a thing. Nobody should be doing this. And he's just really good at marketing. Let me say that. I don't want to go any deeper than that.
Would ethics be another thing of interest?
Ethics? The ethics of AI?
Well, the way he markets safety of the things he sells and things like that, where Tesla has had a lot of underperformances in that sector that have been discovered as of recent, especially with their automated driving.
I have full self-driving, and I could kind of see where that's coming from.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Rhea, I wasn't trying to cut you off.
No, but at the same time, the Hyperloop, I could kind of see it. I did try it for CES. When I was at CES in Vegas, I did try it out. They had a small one.
What do you mean, try it out? The Hyperloop?
Yeah, and they have some sort of thing where you could go. Wasn't the Hyperloop? Was some sort of thing with Teslas?
That's just the boring company. The boring hole with the Teslas through it.
Oh, okay.
No, the Hyperloop was supposed to be a pressurized chamber that would run at very fast speeds, which, I mean, works, but it doesn't work in scale. Just the metallurgy of the tubes that you'd have to run in, all that stuff. It just doesn't work.
Right.
Tesla marketed one of those?
Well, no, they tried to sell the idea of the Hyperloop to California to get them off of the high-speed rail and into something like Hyperloop, which they advocated would be cheaper than high-speed rail, which I don't know how it could ever be cheaper. That's insane.
I think we need high-speed rail first, because we don't really we need to have that more places first before we decide to go with that.
To go with a pressurized version of that, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we need to have actual, start with the basics that we don't have already.
Yeah. Well, okay.
The issue is the.
Go ahead. Last comment on this, and then we got to move on because I don't want to make this about Elon. I could make this about Elon, but I don't want to. Go ahead.
Oh, it's the issue is building the infrastructure, and the infrastructure needs to be able to build on top of itself instead of just reinventing the wheel.
Right, and that pressurized tube concept is over 100 years old. It's already existed in.
Before we know it, AI and machine code will be building facility to build its own facility. It will be building its own AI infrastructure.
Ooh, that's what my wife believes is happening soon, which she's probably not wrong. But okay, we have to step aside from that for a second. So let's go back to ham radio. Rhea, FYI, I did turn off your mute, but you don't have to PTT now, but that means your mic's on, just as an FYI. You can click the mute button in Discord if you want to just mute yourself manually. That still exists. So FYI.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
there was a ham radio question that was, let's come back to that when we were talking to Scott. Go for it. I don't remember who that was. I apologize.
See, now I feel like a bandwidth hog.
No, that's fine. It doesn't. No, I mean, it's not a bandwidth thing. I want to answer ham radio questions. At least we're almost to we're about past the 1.5 hour mark, which is when we just kind of start opening things up. But I want to make sure we get all the ham radio questions answered. That's always my goal. So go for it.
Copy that. I'm very down with the vibe in your rooms. My question is, on the third day of being licensed, I've got the APRS down with the Android tablet with the program that we all know about, and I'm trying to get the old laptop going with Echolink, and I can't seem to figure out, is there a driver that I need for the little Baofeng radio?
For Echolink, so you've plugged your Baofeng into your computer, and you're trying to do Echolink over your Baofeng?
Yeah, is that even possible, or am I just missing the digipeater in the middle?
So generally the Echolink component rides on a repeater for Echolink, and then you use your cell phone to access the repeater, and then you talk to the people that are on that repeater. So you're basically trying to replicate having like a Echolink repeater via Baofeng. It sounds like.
Yeah.
So I had a voice conversation with somebody in New Zealand yesterday morning over my internet connection. But the confusing part is that the protocols, the lists of protocols, and I just, I don't understand. I think the bigger concept that you're describing.
Well, Don, did you want to say something? Go ahead.
Well, I just was saying, don't confuse Echolink with APRS. They're different animals altogether.
I think he knows, but maybe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I have them. They're distinct packets are different than what the Echolink does. But I think it's just maybe a compression issue that I'm experiencing, because it's my they have a proxy configuration that's required, the port forwarding proxy. And I'm just, I'm way back there in time. I went to law school 35 years ago. I'm an old retired guy now. So I just appreciate the intelligence and knowledge of you young folks.
What are you trying to do with Echolink? What's your goal?
Isn't there the facility to use remote boxes to transmit?
Yeah. So the way I most often see Echolink used is you pull up the app on your phone and you connect to a repeater, like in another land, somewhere that you're not RF close to. Right. And so that has allowed me in the past to actually participate in nets on other people's repeaters in other states. And that's passed via the internet to the repeater. The repeater then takes that and spits it out of the repeater, so everybody that's local on a handheld or mobile radio can hear what I'm saying, and vice versa, I can hear them. That's the most common use case that I see. In your case, it sounds like you're potentially trying to connect that to a radio, but if it's like a Baofeng, then you don't get a lot of advantage out of it because your RF sphere of influence, if you will, is relatively small. So unless you want to use another radio to talk to the Baofeng to get to Echolink, to get to something like you could do that. But a lot of the times, the repeaters that you find on Echolink are the destination for the clients that are running the application.
This makes sense. This makes sense, and I understand what you're saying. I think the confusion came for me with the APRS droid and the cable, which does work, but I've got the squelch issue. Thanks to you, I was able to use Chirp to program the radio pretty tight, but I can't get the Android to hear the radio because I don't think the radio is hearing the IRLP nodes.
Okay, so IRLP is different than Echolink.
Yeah, see, now we've got 3 protocols involved.
Right, so they're all
the
individual.
IRLP towers, well, those are repeaters, and those are the ones that have the SMS GTE gates, right?
SMS GTE is APRS.
And that's a completely different system. And still, to me, it sounds like you're confusing 2 systems. Echolink has nothing to do with APRS. APRS has nothing to do with Echolink.
Yeah,
That's why I said, forget the Echolink part. I'm pretty clear on that now. It's just was a brain fart on my part, I think.
Yeah.
The other thing is like I said, it's really just I think it's just the radio and the squelch issue, I think.
Aren't you missing the TNC part?
No, you don't need that with APRS droid.
Yeah, that's true. So the other, so IRLP is more like Echolink than it is not. Oh my God, that's a really bad one. My wife brought me a jar. So here we go. I'm being the husband right now, and I'm still dealing with my finger that hurts really bad from my dog. Oh my God. Oh, I got it. Okay.
Thank you.
Tested live, feats of strength. Sorry.
Yeah, the delay on Discord and watching you on TV is about a minute and a half. So
yeah, there is a delay there. So IRLP is kind of like Echolink in that it is an audio voice over internet, and the usual goal is to link repeaters together, right? Or you could have an end node, and the end node is just a radio that you can kind of talk into.
Exactly, otherwise known as SISOP mode.
Okay, so all right, so the way that IRLP often gets used is that you have like a mobile radio that you run full duplex on, or crossband repeat, and you use your handheld to talk into it, and then that mobile shoots out an IRLP, which goes to a linked repeater system, for instance, or something along those lines. Or you could just end node it, and your end node is the mobile radio that connects to whatever device, right? Whatever repeater system you're trying to connect to.
So for clarity, I would limit the discussion to just the APRS Droid app and whether or not I'm going to be hearing anything where I am, which is in Southwest Denver, Maidenhead Grid Square, Delta Mike 79 Kilo Papa. There's towers on the mountains to the west of me, and I can hit those repeaters easily with my Baofeng radio from my house. But I just don't know. Is it that the other nodes? It's not, my radio's not hearing the individual APRS transmissions, because I've got a scanner in the house too, and I listen, and all day I haven't heard a single transmission.
Okay, so I don't mean this in the bad way, but you're kind of all over the place a little bit, right? APRS is packet radio. The thing you're trying to hit is a digipeater. It's not a traditional voice repeater, and voice repeaters are not digipeaters. These are stovepipe and completely isolated systems. So the best thing to do is go to aprs.fi is the website, and let's go to Denver. I've been to Denver quite a few times. So I'm going to scroll over to Denver here, wherever it is. Come on. Oh boy, it's lagging a little bit. Come on. But pull up that website and find your general area. And what you're looking for is nodes that have been picked up. I think I went too far. Where am I? Now we're in Utah. Hold on, we're getting there. Oh my God, it's lagging so bad. But anyway, pull that up and bring up Denver. Let's just go to Denver and see what kind of activity you have. So yeah, you've got all these dots, and I know there's a lag, but all these dots are weather stations. D implies digipeater. Those are all stations that are
I got
listening.
that.
Yeah, so
I got that. It's KF0, MCM, Kilo Foxtrot 0, Mike Charlie Mike, and it's -5.
right, but I'm saying if you're able to send out a packet, a beacon, and you're able to show up on this website, then you're there. You're in. The next step is like text messaging via APRS. That's the next thing you can do. And then you can also do APRS with SMS via the SMS GTE thing. And that's kind of like what APRS does. You're kind of like done at that point. You're there. You're all set. You could build a digipeater, and then you could have that capability on your own radio if you wanted to be a digipeater. But that's kind of what APRS does.
I've already gotten through the gate protocol for registration. I'm past that point, actually. But, it's just, I think there's a mix of protocol disinformation in my head somewhere.
No, yeah. So just compartmentalize it all. So APRS is its own thing. It goes on a shelf, and that's its own box. IRLP is its own thing. You put it on a shelf, and it's its own box. And Echolink is its own thing. Now, you can make the systems talk to each other primarily in the voice space. So IRLP, Echolink, and you can even get the primary amateur radio digital voice modes like DMR and D-Star and Yaesu System Fusion to interoperate with each other. But that generally requires hardware and different devices that bridge that gap for you, right?
Yeah, man, you're excellent, and I really appreciate it. I certainly hope that my loquaciousness hasn't offended anybody tonight.
No, not at all.
I'm going to sign off now, and I'll just listen. I appreciate y'all being patient with me.
No, not this is not a problem. That's literally why we do this. These are good questions, because every question you bring forward, there's definitely someone that's going to watch and listen later, or already has it, that is listening, that doesn't know this, and that's why we do it. So do not feel bad. Ham radio is complex enough, and it takes a long time to kind of, again, a broad understanding. And again, I have a broad understanding. I don't have a deep understanding on a lot of it. I have some of it, but that's why we do what we do. And everybody here, that's why we try and help people out. So, okay.
And thanks again. It's just the delay with the Discord and bringing up the sub menu that says push to talk. So there's at least a second after you swipe up from the missing menu at the bottom of Discord before you can even see the push to talk button. So that's what we're experiencing. I apologize about it, but there's no way to keep that menu open. It disappears after 5 seconds.
If you just go to the voice chat, if you just click on the voice chat, the PTT bar at the bottom should just always be there, is my understanding. If you stay on the voice chat and don't go to the other chat rooms.
Well, you're such a font of information, and I got to be honest, a couple of the older hams out there that are publishing videos, boy, they are hard to watch. They're so arrogant.
I'm glad that people are making ham radio content, and while not every audience will work with every creator and vice versa, those people have a viewership, and there's a lot of people that resonate with the stuff they put out. And yeah, so I'm glad it's all out there for amateur radio. I think it's all good. But yeah, I appreciate you asking the question. It's good. All right. Let's see. Let's check. Anyone else want to say hi or ask a question for the Discord? Come now. And it could be on YouTube as well. I am monitoring the chat, although we've been busy tonight, so go ahead.
Hello, all.
Yeah. Hi, Josh.
I got a hello all. Let's go with hello all first, and then we'll go with hi Josh next. Go hello all.
Hello, Josh. This is Alpha Charlie Zero Romeo Victor. Just want to say howdy. And I think I finally gotten this work with all working now. So other than that, nothing to say other than back to you. Keep up, y'all keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you saying hi. Okay, now we'll go with the hi Josh. Who is the hi Josh?
Well, Josh, like I say, hi. Glad to meet you up in Orlando. And the guy wants to do the tiger balloons. You can get the really thin wire at Michael's. It's like 7 strands of stainless steel wire and 100 roll. Works great.
All right, so W9EXP, you had a bit of like a weird distortion going on. I think I got most of that, though. Amateur balloon, you can go to Michael's, and you said it was like a multi-strand wire that comes on a spool. Can you un-PTT for a second and then re-PTT and restate that? Or was I on the right?
Try
wrong?
to push the buttons.
Yeah, you're still... you got a bad internet connection. It sounds like you're losing connection. It's kind of up and down.
Yeah, thank Comcast. All right. I'll just sign up. Talk to you later.
Okay, I think we got most of that. So it was W9EXP. Thank you, by the way, and I think you said that you said hi at Hamcation. So thank you for saying hi. Yeah, the it could be a headset mic. Other people are saying it's either bad internet or bad Bluetooth connection to headphones. That could be. Maybe you're running out of power on your headphones. So it sounds like Michael's potentially has like a multi-strand wire thing that you could buy, and for the balloon antenna thing that we were talking about. There you go. Cool. All right. Go ahead.
I'll have to check that out. Thank you for that. Yeah, he was really R2D2.
It happens. It's all right, though. All right. Anybody else in there wants to say hi or ask a question? Go ahead.
What's your beer of choice?
My beer of choice. I always just pick random beers, like wherever I'm at. I'm seldom one type of beer guy. I like Belgian triples. It's probably my favorite type of beer. And stouts. Nothing wrong with Guinness, but a stout is kind of like more down my alley that I will drink. So there you go.
Excuse me, Josh, but
Go
you've
ahead,
been
Mike.
derelict in your duty. You have not told us what you're drinking tonight.
I am drinking something that Leia bought. It is ranch water. I'll grab a can. Hold on. This is ranch water. Prickly pear. Hold on. Come on. There we go.
Yeah.
It's just a hard seltzer.
Tastes like ranch dressing.
Yeah, it tastes like ranch dressing. That's right. It's a hard seltzer. It's an 80-calorie hard seltzer. It's not that great. It's lime flavored hard seltzer, basically. Prickly pear. It's kind of what it tastes like.
I have a question for you, Josh.
Yeah, Don, go for it.
Have you never used an IC7000?
I have never used an IC7000.
Yeah, that's a nice little small radio that's all mode, and it works really well portable. And that's why I was wondering, because you didn't have it on the list, but obviously you can't put everything on the list.
Yeah,
and I just was wondering if you'd ever had a chance to use one. They're nice with a color screen and everything, but you know.
Yeah, that's the one Jason has in his truck, right?
I thought he had a 7200.
7200?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The bigger one. I thought it was
7200 is like a big base station, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's got it in his truck.
No, he's got a 7000 in his truck.
Yeah, he's got a 7000 because it's got the pop-off head unit, right?
Yeah, the 7000 does. I know he's got a 7200 too, but I always thought I thought he did, but yeah, I don't know.
So
I've had
Jason is. Oh, sorry, Rhea, go ahead.
Yeah, I had one in my original mobile. I like it a lot. The only problem is that it overheats in the summer.
Yeah. So Jason said he's been through like 2 of them. He owns a few of them, and he's killed a couple, I think he said.
Well, that's the thing. I won't take that in my car on a regular basis, or the 857D. I don't want to lose the screen on the 857D. So the only thing I use them for is POTA or portable work, where it's in and out.
Yeah, and I have to say to everybody that I try not to talk about radios that I haven't had experience with. Or if I mention them, I usually caveat them with, a lot of people like this. I haven't gone hands-on with them. So that's always been my concern because, people are, even a radio that's not available on the market anymore, like they're going to find one in a Hamfest and go, oh, Josh says this is really good, I'm going to buy it. And then it's like, oh boy, here we go. Right. So I try to be cautious with the things I say, like, oh, this is a good one. I'm sure it's great. I just don't have a ton of background with it. What came first, the 706 Mark II G or the 7000? Or are they of that same family line?
The 706 came first.
Okay.
Yeah. The 7000 was kind of like touted as a successor. And it was the first mobile they made with IFDSP.
Oh, okay. I think somebody said it had ATV decode. Is that true?
No. It does, what it does have is a composite output for the display.
Okay. Jody's saying that they disabled ATV decode to the screen. It used to do it, but it doesn't do it now, or quote unquote, they updated it. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was back in the days when you could do ATV on 77s, but that's pretty much dead.
Yeah, and there are retrofit kits to take that composite and take it up to a more modern standard of video out too.
It had a TV tuner built in. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's that era of radios. I think I was so QRP focused at that time that I missed a lot of those radios. The 857 was kind of like the dream radio for me that I didn't have the money to throw at. So I never really played around with a lot of those.
Yeah, I've ended up buying them used just because they're easy to get used, and I never really wanted a 706 Mark II G. To me the 7000, I just like it better.
Sounds like it's the upgrade.
Yeah, I think so. It's just I like the size of it. It seems I don't know. When I've seen 706s, they seem larger, but I haven't actually set them next to each other.
I always liked the 706 because I kept seeing them on Gold Wings.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's see. Anybody else that wants to say hi or ask a question, go ahead. And by the way, this is all ham radio questions. You don't have to be a newcomer or anything like that. Just open it wide open, and that includes YouTube as well. If you say question in your question or at Ham Radio Crash Course, that works too.
Do you have your HF mobile stuff set up yet?
No, I don't. My truck was at the dealership for most of last week because when I got it, the Blue Cruise, or as everybody calls it in the house, Blues Clues, wasn't working. It never worked from the factory. I don't know what happened, but they had they swapped some boxes out, I guess, and I got it back. So I am planning on getting that all done before the Campout to have the HF radio. Oh, Leia
not be as good as they are right now. If you wait for
Leia brought me pasta. What is this, Leia? Bucatini. Okay, she said I have to try it, because if I eat it later, it won't be as good.
Yeah, I just saw it on your live stream there. It looks pretty good.
That is that's a thick pasta, man.
So it's not exactly angel hair.
No.
It's bucatini.
That is good. That's really good. All right.
Oh, hey, Josh, I heard you mention my name last weekend.
Yeah.
But I was up north visiting family. My bad.
So it was a question about radio install. And I think we ended up getting there, but I was like, oh, if we just had Shane here, we probably would have already been done with this question.
I was watching you, but I was up north visiting family.
Oh, man, that's funny. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Somebody had a question. Oh, it's Douglas on the YouTube side. Do you buy power poles and wire anywhere other than how? Okay. Do you buy power poles and wire anywhere other than how? So I buy the SOTA beams wire. I really like the SOTA beams wire for antennas. I have found that a lot of people are fairly ride or die about where they get power poles from. But I've had cheap Amazon ones. I've had MFJ ones. And I literally have a brand new box of PowerWorks power poles that I picked up at HRO the other day. I have not noticed a ton of difference between them. The only time that you run into issues with the power pole connectors is if they're like in sun for a long time and they get sun blasted and they start to degrade, or they'll become brittle and break. But I've had fairly good luck with even the cheap stuff. So there you go. There's a follow-on.
I figure I should add.
Go ahead. You got something to add? Go for it.
I figure I should ask. Did I make a mistake not bringing my HT with me? I'm in the Phoenix area right now.
There's a lot of hams in the Phoenix area.
Yeah. Oh, and also because of somewhere I went today, I figure I would contribute to a pretty long-running argument on this server. There is no way that some of you think that In-N-Out is better than Five Guys. I had it today, and why? It's the fries. They're not even good. It's like weird. It's like a McDonald's apple. It's slightly crunchy, but then you bite in. It's like no. There's no crunch.
But it's way cheaper.
Soft.
It's way cheaper. In-N-Out is like half the price of Five Guys.
I've always found
rightfully so. I wouldn't pay twice the amount for that.
I've always found the Five Guys to be a greasy mess.
I suppose that depends.
Especially the fries.
Wow, we've got people that are like really hard. In-N-Out is so. There's a lot of guys who are like Five Guys is good, but they don't like it. But then there's a lot of people who are just out and out hate In-N-Out. Man, I
like both. I like both.
I like both.
It just comes down to price, whatever I'm willing to spend.
That's how I feel about it.
The burgers. I'd say Five Guys still has a slight advantage, but there's much less difference. But for the fries, there's no question Five Guys.
How do y'all feel about Muya?
I've never had it.
What is that?
Okay, well, I guess it's a Texas thing, but it blows Five Guys away. I just can't stand Five Guys.
Yeah, I live in South Dakota, so I never get to have In-N-Out, so I tried it again for the second time. Not good.
You're from Texas, and you never mentioned Whataburger. Shame on you.
No, I prefer Whataburger.
Yeah.
I prefer Whataburger to any of them, but yeah, that's... I didn't bring it up because everybody just rags on it.
Yeah, I don't like floppy fries. That's my whole thing. I don't like fries that are like on the soft side, and Five Guys fries are more towards that side than what I want.
Yeah, that's to me, and they're like a greasy mess, or at least. And I've only tried it one time, but it was so bad I'm never going back.
So I like.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Rhea. Rhea's gonna try to add a point. Go for it.
Yeah, no, we have one here called Shake Shack. I don't know if you guys have Shake Shack.
We do. It's very good.
Yeah. That's the best chain burger I've had. But Five Guys here, I agree. The fries are kind of floppy. But I like them. I don't know.
In my experience, it's been the exact opposite. Because at the Sioux Falls, South Dakota Five Guys, at least, the fries are actually pretty crispy on the outside, and in the one at the In-N-Out I was at earlier today, the fries were pretty floppy. They were
maybe they're just better frozen up there.
Yeah, that's it.
I think they just leave them outside in a milk crate overnight when they're not using them.
That's it.
And it just hardens to a rock.
Was Paul saying something? Go for it, Paul.
Yeah, I'm gonna say from a burger standpoint, the best hamburger in the United States is Culver's Double Butter Burger with the West.
I second that.
The next best states is In-N-Out animal style, no question about it. Great hamburger. And then there's all the rest. McDonald's makes a great hamburger.
Yeah, so I will say one of the reasons why I like In-N-Out, it's pretty simple. It's not a complicated answer. They don't do anything like extreme. It's just a well-balanced burger.
Mm.
And I don't get a double. I get a cheeseburger, just regular style with grilled onions, and it's just a well balanced burger. It's not complicated. It's not expensive.
It tastes like a hamburger.
Tastes like a hamburger. It's good. The fries, though, I do get a little dumb. I get well done fries, so they're like extra crispy, and then animal style. So then they put all that goop on top of it and the cheese,
Animal
and
style.
that's the best.
At Culver's,
Animal
this is?
style.
No, In-N-Out.
Yeah, In-N-Out.
But
And
you can do the same thing at Culver's. They will do the same thing on the
Yeah, actually,
You
for
just have to
Culver's,
know to ask them.
I
for
hate
Culver's,
that. I hate that ordering off the menu crap. Hell with that.
I'm fine with it. I don't care.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you know about it, that's the whole thing. But it's just like there's a place here called Torchy's Tacos, and according to everybody, you don't go in there and order Torchy's Tacos. You go in there and order off the menu strictly. I'm like, well, then how do I know what to order?
So I got a chance to experience Torchy's when I was last in Austin, and they were good. And as someone who is, pretty ride or die Southern California Mexican food first and everybody else is last, Torchy's tacos were pretty good. And I did not know about the off menu. I was not educated on that, but they were still pretty good.
Well, there's a friend of mine say friend of mine. He was a guy from Red Hat that came up and was working with us for a week. And he took us to Torchy's one day and he ordered everything and none of it was on the menu. And oh my God, it was good. But I don't know what to order. I have no idea how to go back in there and order it.
Douglas is about to get banned. Southern California Mexican is iffy at best. Come on. You crazy, man. You're crazy.
I think
Them's fighting
I think
hard.
for something like Culver's, I'd be more likely to ask for that for them well done, because typically Culver's is more of a floppy, but still with a nice skin on the outside.
Culver's is like Five Guys. They're fresh cut. They double fry them. But if you go into Culver's and you say, I want them double cooked and with all the works on them, those are great fries. But I still think the best fries are McDonald's because they put so much sugar in them and so much salt that it can't be anything but great.
I thought Culver's were the crinkle ones.
In-N-Out fries or McDonald's fries are very good.
McDonald's-
that is what they
McDonald's
do very well.
franchise on French fries.
Well, they have their own breed of potato for it, don't they?
They used to.
They take their potatoes and then they soak them in sugar. It's like when they take you soak potatoes to get the starch off of them so you can fry them and then they come up right. But when they soak them in a sugar bath and it absorbs the sugar and gets rid of the starch. And then when they fry them, it just transforms them into what is great about a French fry. I mean, you tell me somebody orders French fries from McDonald's when they are hot and they smell like French fries, that they do not eat them in the car on the way back to
You
work
have
or
to.
to the office.
Yeah.
You have to.
You got to
I mean,
eat like
that is-
5 or
A
6.
detailed understanding of these foods would drive any sane person away from them.
Yeah, so that is
but
true.
if you know what's in
That
most
is true.
processed food, you wouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a vegan. It's like I don't eat any of that stuff except when I eat it,
That's like
which is pretty often.
So FYI, if anybody didn't know, that's kind of the secret for McDonald's is that they have a salt sugar mixture that they use on like everything. And they put it on everything. It's like a 50-40 salt sugar mix that they do. It's on everything.
That might be the present controversy, but 40 years ago it was their petition to seek a variance. No, it was on the amount of latex allowed in the manufacturing process of the meat, because every so often a worker would lose a glove and it would go through the grinder. So they got an exemption under the Food and Drug Administration for a variance on that, so they could have more latex in your burger than you would like.
Good.
Latex is what gives it.
I wonder what that.
That's
I
where the
wonder
flavor
what
comes
is
from.
That's where you
what
get the
does latex-
microplastics.
What does latex turn to on the grill?
Flavor.
What happens when you have plastic on the grill?
That's how you get that microplastics in your lungs when you're breathing the burgers.
Yeah, that's how you
That's why I have. That's how you get carcinogens.
When y'all get done with the French fry stuff, can we go back to ham radio?
Go for it, Don. Go ahead. Good segue.
All right.
Sounds reasonable.
Since Rhea,
When we're done.
Since Rhea's, when you're done. Since Rhea's here and Josh as well, I have another one of those opinion questions.
Okay.
So an amplifier with RF sensing or with band switching from the radio, which is better?
Like with a cable from the radio?
Yeah, with a cable from the radio, because none of my amplifiers do.
I'll pass to Rhea and let Rhea give us their opinion, because I am a simple man with a simple tube amp and a wire.
Well, I will tell you 100%. If you have transceiver control, that's the best thing. RF sense, it's almost it's very risky, and
I've had my Mercury for over a year and a half now. I've never had any issues with it.
Yeah, but I mean,
or with the transceivers, and I've heard stories, but
I mean, some people can make it work, but I always like to do, because you can always, like in my transceiver, I always insert like a small delay before.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Right, and then before you actually transmit, and this way you have more control. Even like when you're doing like transverters and stuff like that, you must have like a sequencer, otherwise you're going to blow stuff up.
Yep.
Yeah, I have transverters too, but yeah, I've not had any trouble with the Mercury, and recently I got one of those little cheap ones for to like the micro PA 50 is what I got, and that's also RF sensing. They say you can put a cable on it, and they have all these protocols, and this is one of the things I don't like about the band switching from the transceiver. If they would make that a standard, I'd be all for it, but they don't. Everybody's a little different, and that's what I hate about it, because you have to guess, and like even the transceivers don't have a common interface to connect to it, and that's more crap I have to build or go out and find a cable for or whatever, and I don't like it. I have not had any problems with RF sensing, because it's like bang, it's there, and yeah.
Now, Don, sorry, 1 second. Don, you might have a possibly one of the better amps for that, though. The Mercury's pretty good.
Oh,
for that.
The micro PA 50, really?
Isn't it? I mean, well, you've been using
it. Micro PA 50 is also RF sensing, and one of the other amplifiers I have is RF sensing too. Oh, I know
the other amps.
Well, yeah, because but by the way, there are two different types.
The multitude.
The Mercury will key on the PTT line, so you connect a PTT to key it. The micro PA 50 keys off RF sensing, and one of the other amplifiers I have also keys off the RF sensing, so it doesn't require a PTT. So there's actually two different types.
All right, so
go ahead,
Mercury is your weekend amp, right?
Yeah. Well, one of the concerns I have is between words on SSB, does it actually shut off? 1, and 2, how do you do QSK with it?
I don't do CW, so that's not an issue. It doesn't. No, actually, it doesn't. It doesn't shut down between words. I do see it not. The signal bounce, but that's more the radio than anything else. Because when I've noticed on the Mercury, if I'm doing CESSB, either with the Flex or the Onan, I mean, my signal stays flat steady at, like, if I go key 1,000 watts, that's what I see coming out. If I don't have CESSB on, then it, the amount of power varies with my voice.
Yeah, I guess they make it work. It's not something I prefer, but if they make it work, they make it work. I still think that transceiver control, either wired or so I'm fully into Flex and PGXL, which is what I use, and my transceivers, my amplifiers control via Ethernet. So even the PTT is via Ethernet.
Oh, so, okay. You have the PGXL, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and I've had like 4 different iterations of PGXL because I basically was I had serial number 7 as an alpha tester, and then went down the line. But if it works, it works. I just don't like it.
Yeah, and I understand the don't like it, but I didn't know if there was an actual like reason why it I mean, because a number of manufacturers do it, but I have heard whispers in the ham community that it's a bad thing on the transceivers. But I mean, I've literally run my Flex for 9 months on the Mercury, and I mean, I use the Mercury all the time, and now I'm doing it on the Onan radios. I took my Flex and moved it off where it's somewhere quiet, because man, the noise reduction on that radio, why won't they fix it? But anyway, that's so I moved it somewhere quiet, and nothing remotes like a Flex.
Right.
But yeah, but yeah, the Onan, the noise reduction's killer. Anyway, I've run both of these radios on it, and I've never had any issues with it keying the amplifier, or I've not ruined or blown a transceiver up or anything like that, which is the whispers I see. Of course, Facebook's is a bad example, but
yeah, I do think but on something like SSB, it should be fine. Because you have basically like a gradual ramp up. You're not like a CW signal is a lot more abrupt.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, the only thing I was going to say, I have sent CW through the Mercury, and on the Mercury, you have to reduce power, so you do only 700 watts out of the Mercury rather than 1500. So I think that's more to do with the LD MOSs that are inside of it, because it doesn't like the on off.
Right.
But it will do it at 700 watts without any issues.
Okay.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
That's okay. We got it figured out without you.
You got to the bottom of it. Good. Well, yeah, I'm not adding any value to that conversation, really. All right. Question, go for it.
Have you, Josh, or anybody else here found any diagrams for Zygoos? Because I've got 2 of them that have issues. So
I haven't really looked either. Has anybody looked up one or tried
Yeah,
to?
but which version or which radios? Because Zygo makes quite a few.
Exactly, and I've never seen any diagrams for any of them.
No, I don't think you get anything out of China. They're protective of their intellectual property, though they don't respect others.
Hey, K6ARK's in the YouTube side. Hey, how's it going, Adam? See you soon.
Yeah, my G102 is broken, and my 5105 is being strange. So,
I mean, is there anybody in the chat that's actually tried to look up a Shegu diagram?
No, but T.O. did fix he did fix his amplifier, and I have no idea how he figured out what was wrong with it. He blew it. He blew his Zygo amplifier.
If I remember at the video, it was plainly obvious which bits weren't left.
Oh.
Yeah, but he seemed to know, and maybe it was because he looked it up. I don't know, but yeah, I know he found it and it was obvious, but he knew where to look too, right?
I'll ask him the next time I see him.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam is building some stuff. He's playing with a plasma cutter and welding up some steel brackets. Oh. So he's got something fun he's doing. Right on.
Perhaps we're getting Mark II beer antenna.
Yeah, Mark II beer antenna with a plasma. Yeah, well, maybe. Who knows? He's going to bring out the Brewmander to the Campout. So Adam will be on site for the Campout. He's one of the YouTubers that I'm sure is going to be there at least some of the time, because he lives pretty close. So that's nice that we could have a pocket Adam available at any time if we need it. So I will have a stove Adam did send me the link to the regulator that he's using, and there already is, and stove's the wrong term, the oven that is also a stove. We will get the same regulator he has. I'll bodge that up before we go. I need to double check with him on what that is. And then there is an oven already there at the Campout. And Red Summit RF is also on the YouTube. When is the Campout? It's at the end of April, last weekend. It is the last weekend in San Diego, California. We've booked it full. It's fully booked, so I don't really have any other options. I did have some people ask about if they just come out for like the day to hang out, and the problem I have is that they're campsites. They're individual campsites. There isn't like a community picnic area or anything like that. So I've got to talk to Leia, and I also need to talk to the property owners, because technically it's an Airbnb that is a campsite. So they don't have like a day pass kind of thing. So I got to figure out how we're going to work that. But I will let you know for those that would like to just slide out for a couple of hours. I can't confirm any of that right now. So I apologize.
What are the expected temperatures? Do you have an idea?
Looked. I haven't even looked.
Well, I mean, like, do you know what
Could be
it
raining.
normally is?
True. It's gonna be. It'll probably dip down into the 40s at the lowest.
Okay.
I would be surprised if it gets that cold though. At the end of April.
Yeah, here in the end of April, we could be over 100. So
we got a heat wave coming next week.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It's already been hot.
I'm not ready for that yet. My exhaust fan was already running a little bit today. Auto temperature adjusted fan, and I'm not ready for all that yet. I want to keep it as cold as we can for as long as possible.
Yeah, my when it gets hot in the shack, my PC will overheat, and it overheated yesterday.
Oh.
Question?
Go ahead, question.
Hi guys, Rick, Victor Echo 2 Delta Whiskey. I've got an antenna question to you guys. My current setup is I built a fan dipole, which is maybe 100 feet away from my house, hanging on trees, and it's working great. But I've got another coax that I ran about 60 feet away from the house. It's all underground, but it was to connect a VHF UHF antenna, which I'm not using. I'm not a big fan of 2 meter. I do mostly HF. My question is, should it be worthwhile to install a vertical antenna and then switch between my fan dipole, which is like horizontally set up, or is there any benefits to investing time and efforts and money into building a vertical antenna and switching between the two antennas?
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes. And if you have a radio that has diversity receive, you can kind of work both of them into the feed, if you will, into the audio chain, so that you can get basically pick the one that is best for the signal for the contact you're trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
Would you recommend any? Well, on vertical, I don't know if I'm going to build myself one, but I may start with a commercial antenna.
Yeah.
Would you recommend an antenna that I'd like to work, 40 to 10?
Do you want to say it, Don, or should I?
Go ahead.
It's the DX Commander.
Who makes that?
DX Commander. Callum, he's a YouTuber out here. He's out of the UK. He has an antenna kit. It's a very good kit. There's a lot of people that have built it, including myself, and it's a multi-band antenna. They even have an option for getting up to 80 if you want to go down that far. Fantastic antenna, and it's a good diversity receive antenna if you wanted a vertically polarized antenna.
Mm-hmm.
Shane just dropped the link for you there in the live stream chat.
Yeah, and Callum will. I mean, despite the fact that like we're across the ocean from him, he'll get you an antenna within a day or two. It's when he ships it, it's just like insane.
His shipping is wicked fast.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Well, okay, we just mentioned DX Commander. I don't have all the details. I got clued in that there's likely going to be some kind of a discount thing coming up, and it's likely Easterish weekend time frame. So if you're thinking about getting a DX Commander, you may want to just hold on a little bit. Okay, so there you go. That's
Didn't
all.
he
That's
say
all I'll
he was
say.
paying for shipping right now?
That might be what it is, but I don't know for sure, and I don't want to tell a bunch of people to go buy one and then he drops a extra something or other. I don't want that to happen. So maybe just wait. I know it's hard to wait as a ham. You want to get that shipping lane a moving. I get it, but you might want to in this case.
And look at that, Loki's in the chat. Although I doubt that's the Loki.
There you go. Frank is saying, would you send me the regulator link when you get it? I have a camper oven in my Amazon wish list right now. I don't, I can try and go back to my chat and see if I can find it really quick. Oh, I just got like 2 DX contacts in a row. Where did we just make contact with? Hold on. They all just popped up.
Just FYI, Loki actually has a radio question if you want
to. Why is the log not... Oh, that's frustrating.
As in Thor's brother Loki?
That's the one.
Well, you know DX Commander's son is named Loki, right?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to a minute ago.
Why is it not pushing to HRD log? That's frustrating. Let's see if that worked.
And no rush on that link, Josh. I'm waiting for Amazon before I order it.
Okay. All right, let's go back to Loki's question. Where is Loki's question? Or Dawn, you
I had a question, Josh, when you get a chance.
It says, could you explain how to figure out DMR tone codes on the fly with a 705?
Yes,
is that
I
even
can.
Possible?
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not possible. 705 does not do DMR. It does D-Star. Completely different digital voice setup. So they don't work. It does not work for DMR. You would need to use something like an open spot 4.
Yeah, someone chimed in and they said hot or pi spot.
Yep.
OpenWebRx also does DMR, YSF, and D-Star decoding.
Yeah. You need a special device to be able to. You need a universal translator, as I call it.
No, the OpenWebRx will work with any of the SDRs.
Well, yeah, that's your universal translator.
Oh, okay, I get it. Sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just that you need that capability. So
right.
Then do those work with any radio then?
They generally work off of transmitting into the device, and then the device can do the work.
So you don't need a digital radio then if you have one of those open spots?
Yes, you
do. Because you're usually translating between the two. So you're going from like DMR to D-Star, or DMR to YSF.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
it's a universal translator.
Yeah, if you want to listen to DMR or have it play out on your speakers, then an SDR with something like OpenWebRx, which will decode it and turn it into an audio signal you can listen to. That is possible, but only on an SDR.
Hey, Josh, I had a question for you.
Go for it.
When you activated Crystal Cove, do you remember by any chance what the cost was to get in there?
$15.
15? 15?
Yeah, I think so. It wasn't cheap.
Yeah,
because it's a beach. Right. It's a beach.
Yeah. Okay, I was looking on the map earlier today, trying to figure out where you went. That's one I've never done before. I want to give it a try.
So I asked the guy where like the best like picnic area would have been, and he said park in lot 1, and I went okay.
And that's a state park also, right?
Yes, it is. Kilo 1141.
Well, damn it! Why doesn't California have a basic price just like Texas does?
We actually,
California.
I think that was rhetorical, wasn't it, Don?
I think it depends on where you're going. Like,
even our like Galveston Island is like $15, or you can get in with your Texas Pass.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
I saw it the other day. There's a program through the California State Library System. I can find the link and post it in the live stream chat if you want, where you can check out, like a library book, you can check out a state park pass that gets you into state parks for free that you can use for POTA activations.
And that's how they get you. If you forget to return the pass, that's when they get you on overages. Is that how it works?
I haven't looked deep into it. I read a brief article about it, and I clicked on the link, and I was meaning to read more about it, and I hadn't read more about it yet. But I can grab the link and post it in the live stream.
Okay.
That's what Neil does. Nigel's dad. That's what he does. He has that pass.
Question.
Go for it.
So I purchased the KG UV90 Mate and loving it so far. But with the stock antenna, receiving airband is not the best. So I'm curious of the upgrade antenna that would give me better receive for that, as well as still be good for VHF, UHF.
Well, first, what are you using? Are you just using the stock antenna?
At the moment, I am, yeah. I wanted to see how it performed before I went ahead and purchased the upgrade antenna.
I see. Are you... So the tricky part here is you want an antenna that's a wideband receive, but also effective for 2 meter and 70 centimeter transmit. So usually wideband receive on the higher frequencies, I'm going to say something like a discone antenna. It is likely, though, that by merely putting a 2 meter and 70 centimeter antenna outside, it will do fine for receiving airband. So that's my curiosity. So you could go with a 2 meter, 70 centimeter ground plane or collinear antenna, like a vertical, right? That you put on like the eave of your roof, the high point of the roof line. And just merely having that will improve your airband reception tremendously, just right off the bat. So you may not have to go down the rabbit hole of like a special receive antenna, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that does. And I guess I should also point out that I live maybe a mile away from the airport. So
Oh, yeah. Then just get an antenna outside is probably going to solve most of your problems. And get it a little bit higher up. That will do it.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. We did get a question over on the chat on the YouTube side. What would be a good 10-meter base antenna for cheap? And they gave the golden piece of information, say less than $100 to $150. So let's crowdsource this one. Instinctively, I want to say hamstick, but you could just build one. That's the other thing. You can just build the damn thing out of wire. But go ahead. Let's go to the chat.
CB ground planes are all over the place too. I don't know how cheap they are, but
a CB ground plane could work if, assuming it was wide banded enough. It would probably be pretty killer, depending.
No,
on...
you can actually tune them. So
that's true.
You just change the SWR on it, move it down into the 10-meter band.
Assuming that like you're gonna have some kind of loading, right? If you want to keep it vertically short, like so you're adding some kind of coil of wire so that you're physically bringing it in. Many CB antennas will probably work for that. A hamstick obviously works for that. Somebody said a BR140 Browning is an option. A 49-inch whip, just a straight shoot it up there. That's an option. You could just straight go like straight up with wire, or use a rod of some kind, and you can just do straight CB off of that, and that would be fine. You could do that. Lots of comments. So, if it were me, and you're trying to do HF with it, You can just build yourself a 10-meter dipole, and it's like going to be not a very big antenna, and you can pretty much put it up anywhere. It could even be like a firm fixed dipole. Like you could almost use maybe not aluminum rods, but you could use some rigid metal instead of going with a wire, and you can do that. You can do it that way.
102-inch whip and cut it back a little bit.
102-inch whip.
Yep.
And let's see. Ham Radio DX just got dropped for the easy, build an easy 10-meter vertical antenna for DX. There you go.
Why does he have a loading coil on it?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. See that.
It's a dirty bell.
If you don't care about the vertical height, don't use a loading coil. You don't need it.
What that is a hiding antenna that hides in the bush. I've forgotten the damn name of the things.
Yeah. So if you're not trying to hide from the HOA or something like that, go with a full length antenna. Just go with the big one. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I have an A99.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
I have an A99, and it used to work on. It was less than 2.1, 2 to 1 SWR on 10 meters, but I think with the tree hitting it, it detuned the collars that are used to tune it. So it's now like 3 or 4 to 1 when I tested it about a month or so back.
Yeah, that's a flower pot that Ham Radio DX is pointing at.
Why? Okay.
Well, it's a half wave, isn't it?
On 10?
Yes, end-fed half wave. That's why the coil is there. It's a flower pot, which is an end-fed half wave.
I have to watch it again, but I don't. It might be a straight up just dirty ballon because of the way he built it.
No, it's an end-fed half wave. It's basically a quarter wave. It's basically a dipole, and they put the coil on the bottom to as that. It's basically a flower pot for 10 meters.
Right, but hear me out. If you don't have some kind of restriction on antennas to put up, then a 10-meter dipole is great. It's real wide. It's real wide banded, and 10 meters is already a pretty huge band to begin with. Don just dropped the link to the 10-meter Moxon. A Moxon antenna would be really, really nice.
Yeah, that's actually what I run on 10 meters, and oh man,
yeah,
and that covers the whole freaking band too.
Yeah,
all the way up to 29 megahertz. Or up to 30.
J-pole.
You could make a J-pole.
Yeah, J-pole. I've seen 10-meter J-poles. Yes.
Sure. Was there a comment or somebody said comment or question? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
Paul.
I said comment.
Okay, go ahead, James.
Callum just dropped an attic antenna idea on one of his videos in last week or so. And it's like a 2 meter tall or 2.5 meters or something, and you just loop it over the top and back down about halfway. And Callum's just a genius with that stuff, but he suggested doing it all on your own.
Oh yeah, well, that Callum tells you that he's just providing a kit. He didn't invent the antenna really, and if you want to source the parts for it, you could build the exact same thing that he does. It's not magic, right? None of this with antennas is magic. If you want to go build your own end-fed half wave, you can. So if anybody makes you feel like this is some kind of black magic they understand, it's not. It's all antenna science. And so some folks just do a really good job of making a good piece of kit or just building a kit that then you build. That's, I like to support people like that because it saves me a little bit of time sometimes.
Yeah, you can't source his parts the way he does and do it cheaper.
No.
It's just, for the quality of the parts and what you get, it's amazing.
No, go watch Ham Radio Dude's attempt at making a DX Commander clone. And, his conclusion at the end of it is that, it cost him more to do that than had he bought the kit from Callum and had it shipped.
Right. Speaking of...
Callum was doing Callum was doing wire antennas, and he was literally suggesting putting this in an attic that's, a fairly tall attic, but it's pretty cool still nonetheless.
Oh yeah.
So there was a
Yeah.
question of the DX Commander, so we can answer that in the same vein here. Question about a DX Commander. How can you keep the shock cords from coming out of the wire loops? So I'm assuming this is the shock cords that hold the parts that are folded over elements through the wire, the plates. Does that sound right?
I don't have a problem with the stopper knots working just fine.
I use the double knot method that Callum showed. Works great.
Yeah, you just
The
got to
double
tension
figure
it
eight
enough
would
so
work
it
too.
can't come loose.
Maybe they're
Mine are
not
tight.
taut enough.
Mine are
Yeah,
tight.
it's either.
So RT Dan, if you're having problems with the double knot method, the good thing about Callum is like he replies to everybody. So if you want to ask him directly, you can get feedback from him.
If you're having problems with those silly plastic clips, he did away with them on the one that I bought over the Black Friday deal. He just did away.
You should watch my video on my four-year refresh of the antenna, because those things literally just turned to dust. I mean, they did not. It's not that they like discolored in the sun or any of that, or got weak or whatever. They literally turned to dust. And I basically just went with the double knot thing, and honestly, I didn't even redo the elements. The elements that I originally had that I was pushing through those clips worked fine with the double knot. So
K4TXN Ryan says, old subject, ham study is more than just tests. I always hear about practice testing, but nothing about covering all the questions in the test pool. Answering incorrectly, it will give you the correct answer. Continue on, and it rolls that question back in while fresh in your memory, improving retention. An IQ tip is to read the questions and answer aloud to yourself, so your hearing versus visually learning method is matched. And I also mentioned outside of the testing that if you read the questions, there's a little dog ear tab, and if you click it, it'll actually give you context, and that context is usually enough to give you enough that you're feeling like you have a better understanding. So, I've got to start this camping trip. I got to start pulling stuff out now on what I'm going to bring, because I know there's like a lot of people who are going to be coming out to potentially see stuff and decide on what they want to buy and use. So I'm going to have to bring the DX Commander. I've got to bring the 17-foot telescoping mast, the one of my favorite antennas, because it's just so dumb. No, just the 17-foot vertical whip.
There's nothing better.
MFJ 1979.
Well, MFJ makes them. Chameleon makes them.
Right.
Wolf River's got one. They all make this. It's the same one. They just throw a sticker on it.
Chameleon with the spike.
Oh yeah, I have to do that. Go ahead, Mike.
A cautionary tale: be careful of buying those on eBay, because they look identical and it extremely does work, but they're not 3824 on the bottom. They're 10mm.
Oh.
So be careful. They're stupid cheap too. They're like $39.
Yeah.
But they're 10mm on the bottom. And what I ended up having to do, I had an old 3824 mount. And I actually run, because 3824 and 10mm 1.5 are almost the same. There's literally about 0.5 of a mil difference in the thread pitch. So you can run a 10mm tap up it and it works. But just be careful that you read the fine print, unlike me.
HOA Ham ran into that, and he talked to the manufacturer to get them to change to 3824, and they did, but then he still ended up folding on him, or breaking. So even with that, they're really, really badly made.
So for all the sorry, go ahead. Mike, go
as someone who's spent a lot of time repairing telephones with telescopic antennas, it's very important to keep those things lubricated. If you let them go dry, they will fold up. Because what happens is the only contact between the sections of aerials is the two copper plates that are sandwiched. And if you notice, the MFJ one is actually double crimped where the cheap and cheerful ones aren't, and it's to hold that plate in.
Yep.
And if that plate becomes loose, you'll lose the contact between the elements.
So
What do you load it with?
WD-40 or maybe some, just nothing that's any kind of insulator, obviously, because that would be rubbish.
So, FYI, if you can't get the MFJs, which you should be able to, Wolf River Coil sells them, and if you're getting the Wolf River Coil through them, you can get that Sporty 40 coil, which you just pop that thing on the bottom and you get 40 meters on that 17-foot whip.
You can do the same thing with the buddy pole, buddy stick.
Sure.
Coil.
Yeah, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
I think I bought the buddy stick, I think, for about $35, and it takes it 40 all the way down.
So, Chameleon sells the 17-footers, but here's the hot tip that I know I've mentioned this in the past, but it's the same thread pitch as Fire Sticks for CB, same thread pitch as ham sticks. This mount, it's been around forever. It's existed for a long time. It's literally a vice grip that has a CB mount on it. You can put anything on this. You can put that 17-footer on it. You can switch it if you want a vertical alignment versus horizontal, whatever. It's like a $20 vice grip that has the antenna mount on it. You just slap it on something. It could be metal that you slap it onto, and there's your ground plane. There's your whole thing. I love this, like the ingenuity of this thing. Chameleon makes that clamp. The clamp's really nice, but it's really expensive. This is like $20, and you're done.
Oh, that vice grip thing? I got one of those.
Yeah. No, seriously, which is really funny is
Do you have a URL for?
Yeah, I'll drop the link. So HRO used to sell these, and I got really excited when, so I'm not excited that the San Diego store went out of business. I'm not excited about that. But all the stock from the San Diego store went up to the Anaheim store. So I ran in there, and I'm like, hey, do you have any more of those vice grip things? And they're like, oh, we haven't had those in a long time, and we didn't get anything from San Diego. So they've actually become kind of hard to find, but they're a really good solution for this. So, you may want one of these. This is one of those like $20 works with just anything that's that same thread pitch that's an antenna. So they work really well. CB mirror mounts are less useful, but CB mirror mounts are also. I have one of those. I don't have one of these vice grips though, and I'm kicking myself that I didn't buy one in the dozens of times I saw them just chilling at the HRO. Oh, MTC has them. Okay, let's go back.
Have you not got a welder, Josh?
Yeah, you know what? I do, but who wants to bend the angle iron and do all that? I could, but
I have a welder that I could weld on vice grips, but I just don't want to ruin a perfectly good set of vice grips.
I guess my point is like, yes, I could do any of this, but I don't have the time, and $20 is really saving me the parts, but more importantly, my time. I think. Did somebody drop the MTC link? I want to see that one. How much is the Amazon one? Let's see this one.
I posted the one from Amazon.
It's 14.
Yeah,
that's
15
even
bucks.
better. That's even better. Okay, buy the one from MTC Radio. Here's the one from MTC. 24. Do not buy that from MTC. Let's go back to the Amazon. That's the deal. And I'll even drop my my affiliate link. Hold on. Let me get my affiliate link. Nobody buy this. Let me give you the affiliate link, if you don't mind.
Sorry, I already bought mine.
Oh, damn it. There you go. Okay. There we go. We found it. All right. What was the so more questions? Somebody asked a question about the Campout. I missed it. Where are you doing the Campout? The Campout is in San Diego County. San Diego County.
I've got another question for the Campout.
Outside Ramona. Go ahead with the question.
Hey, it's Tom. So we're curious, how many other families are we expecting? Other kids and stuff like that? Because my wife is like, "Are we just gonna be sitting around watching you do radio stuff, or are we gonna have other stuff to do?"
Well, it's a zoo. Like there's a petting zoo on site, and there's a couple of places to hike around, and it butts up to the what is it? It butts up to a national forest, so there's actually like hiking trails. There are other kids, there are other families. Obviously, my boys will be there, and we're understanding there is over 30 people. Cleveland National Forest. Thank you, Rami. Over 30 people are going, and I'm not sure how many of them are kids, though. So that I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, as long as there's a few others, that's fine.
As long as the kids drink beer, everything's good.
Yeah, you'll have to deal with Edison.
They'll get me beer.
Yeah. By the way, who is providing the beer?
I may buy some extras, but I'm assuming people are bringing their own.
BYOB?
We're providing a couple of meals along with some of the other stuff we're doing, but I'm expecting that I will not be furnishing all the alcohol.
There's a couple providers on the way out there that they will take a donation.
Yeah,
a mandatory donation, and they'll provide you beer.
If Frank was going, you'd have all the whiskey you could drink. Unless he drank it.
That was going to say
that's that stuff he's drinking at the moment is making him feel sick.
Yeah. Well, he swore off it.
He swore off bourbon?
No, this particular thing that he was drinking, it was really making him sick. It was, and I don't remember, but he said it was awful.
I think it was like grapefruit, jalapeno. Yeah, that sounds lovely, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Grapefruit jalapeno bourbon.
It was something like
that. Sounds nasty.
No,
I
think it was peach or something. It was something ridiculous like a peach or plum or jalapeno bourbon.
Jay Baker said mango habanero. That was Tyler.
It sounded bad and tasted worse.
He was drinking it for super chats. Oh,
I had a mango habanero beer that was really good.
That is, I have nothing against anybody who drinks takes super chats for taking a drink. I think it was Jason when he started doing the pickle beer thing, but I don't know that I would ever do that. I don't know that I can. Yeah, I'm not gonna be the super chats is killing these ham tubers because they're drinking off of it. That's getting a little wild. I was very upset though that and Jason was very adamant in contacting me about the local brewery that was doing the Ghost Pepper IPA milkshake. It's such a good beer. It is actually a very good IPA milkshake with ghost pepper in it. So it is legitimately spicy. And so if you ever watched that live stream with Jason drinking that, it is very spicy. And he was having a bit of a time with it, but he kept asking me, and I kept trying to get him, and the brewery didn't make him this year, so I was really bummed out. Yeah,
you still haven't tried the pickle beer.
Oh yeah, I think I'll like it. I can pretty much guarantee I'll like it. I really like pickles, so I'm sure that I'm going to be like, yeah.
Never heard of a pickle beer. I've heard of a pickleback, not a pickle beer.
Oh, well, Jason used to drink it every time you'd send him a super chat. And so people would do that just because he hated to drink it every time.
Has anyone used pickle juice to chase down Jameson?
No.
That's a pickleback.
I guess that just shows like my drinking problem, I guess. But I just like throwing a couple ice cubes in Jameson and sipping on it personally. I don't shoot it. I never shoot it. I don't shoot that.
Can't go wrong with either one of those or shooting it. And if you're going to do a pickleback, you need to use a real pickle brine, not the syrupy stuff you can buy in the store.
There you go.
Oh yeah, no.
Who here
it's straight up from a pickle jar.
Who here has had Screwball?
Yeah, it's okay.
I might have. I don't know. Well, I don't remember.
Too sugary. Peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah, it's super sweet.
So that was making the rounds at Huntsville State Park last year. I definitely had some of that. it was pretty good, but it was really sweet. It's really sweet.
Yeah, it's like drinking Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah, it was a little too much.
I think Scott or somebody brought some to one of our meetups in Texas. I don't remember if it was Scott or Tank, but they all seemed to like it.
Well, let's take a last call for ham radio questions because I have gotten the word from Leia that she's got to make a run out here for some work stuff. So that means I got to take over for the kids. So
hey, I have a question, Josh.
Okay.
So do I.
Okay, we'll go Shane and we'll go Don. Go for it, Shane.
Okay. So my NFED is resonant right now at like around 28.9 on 10 meters. I'm trying to figure out how much wire do I need to add to make it go down to like 28.4 to 28.5.
This is a dipole?
It's an NFED, 49-1.
And you already cut the wire?
I mean, the way it is right now, it's resonant at 28.9 on 10 meters.
High.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I know. I need to.
But did you cut the wire? Did you cut it?
No.
So you just need to let out some of the slack, you're saying?
I need to figure out how much wire I need to add to make it go down to 28.4.
Okay, so now this goes back to my... So when I say, did you cut the wire? So you're literally going to splice in a piece of wire.
Correct.
Okay, here's the answer. Instead of trying to get the minute assumption, just tack on like a 2-footer and then just
go down from there?
Yes, yeah, walk it in.
Gotcha.
You can fold some of that wire back on itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't try and make it mathematically perfect. Just make it too long and walk it in.
Okay.
I liked who was it? It's such an easy hack, and I've never really done it this way, but like just set your two. So not all antenna analyzers will do this, but if your antenna analyzer will let you set a center frequency and then hit it so that it just keeps scanning, right? Just have it keep scanning. Go fold it back and just keep walking back and forth, and then just wait until the dip is where you want it, and then just lock it off.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep. All right, Don, go for it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was posting my video on the 705. So what is the killer app on the MobiLink D? So because I was rather disappointed tonight to learn that all you had to do was for APRS was just simply hook up the Baofeng. So then what is the MobiLink for?
So, okay, what's the best way to explain this? The MobiLink is a TNC.
Yeah, granted.
With the Baofeng, or any radio that can pass audio in and send out audio, you're leveraging the application being the quote-unquote TNC. Right? Mm-hmm. So the Baofeng, by the way, is not very good at this because of that squelch tail that was mentioned. But with the MobiLink, it does all the KISS TNC things that you would do over Bluetooth. That's what it does. That's the whole thing. So the killer app is going to be WinLink Packet. It's going to be APRS. Those are the big ones. Anybody else want to add more to that?
Yeah, WinLink, I guess, would be it. Because, I mean, if you can do APRS without the MobiLink, then why spend the money?
Because it's a question of who's doing the heavy lifting, right?
Mm-hmm. I guess, but it does it really matter if the heavy lifting's done by something that's cheaper than something else? I would say that counts, right?
Well, it's just an extra bit of stuff you have to have. So if you wanted to go a different way, right, you could have a USB sound card that would go into your laptop, and you would split the wires and go in with any Kenwood connector. So you could take a Kenwood and slap it on there, and you could do it would be audio, right? You'd be sending the audio over the wire, and you could do packet, blah blah blah.
Yeah, you have to do Vox, right?
Well, you'd have to. So for WinLink, you'd have to have some intermediary app that would handle that KISS traffic, right? that audio traffic, because WinLink wants a TNC. WinLink wants you to give it a TNC and go, here you go. And it just so happens that Bluetooth is the method you would do that if you were using Packet for WinLink with a TNC4, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, the application is doing that for you, like APRS Droid or whatnot.
Oh, okay. And so, like, if I was doing WinLink with Vara VHF, then I don't need the mobile link either.
Correct, because it doesn't use Packet.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, that explains it, because I was like, wait a minute. Why did I? Because I really bought this thing literally for APRS. I did not know that you could just stick a Baofeng on a mobile phone and go for it.
Well, you can and you can't, because the Baofeng's like a pretty bad APR. It's pretty bad radio to interface that way because of the squelch tail. You will have issues with it.
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you, what I really want is a small, inexpensive, or create a small, inexpensive iGate.
Okay. Well, sorry to tell you, that exists, but it's not cheap.
No, I mean,
it's the Pico APRS that does that.
No. Yeah, but no, you don't need all of that. You just, or that.
What do you mean all of that?
You don't need to spend that kind of money.
I know.
Because a Raspberry Pi running Direwolf will do that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, assuming you got a radio.
Yeah, I got tons of radios. That's not a problem.
Well, and already have a Raspberry Pi.
No, but I was looking for something that would be more of like a less expensive radio than me putting, say, a 7000 or an 857D after it. That seems ridiculous. But when a handheld, I think, is more appropriate because you don't need that kind of power.
So there's questions. Is the squelch tail an option in the settings you can turn off? You can reduce it, but you'll never really get rid of the squelch tail on the Baofengs, which is why a lot of folks don't like you using the Baofeng for APRS, but it works okay. We've talked about it on other videos.
Oh,
but
damn.
John Cusick asks, what is the name of the campground in San Diego? Are visitors welcome? So I hopefully have answered some of that. It's an Airbnb campground, which is a little bit non-standard. We bought the whole campground, and we basically sold all the campsites out. So
I think it's called Westerbilly or something like that, right?
Okay, Shane. I didn't really want to give the name out.
Oh,
because
sorry.
I don't know that it's open to visitors. There's not a camp. There's not a picnic area. There's not like a space for people to just show up for day stuff. So I'm going to ask Leia. So I'll come back with updates on if people can just come for a couple of hours, and I'll try and let you know on the next live stream on what we're planning to do for that case. Because you're not the first person, John. Multiple people have asked, but just want to keep that in mind for folks. We'll come back with more info. So, all right. So basically, for everybody asking questions, if you're asking questions now, you're likely you're not in the you're not on the RSVP list. You're not on the list. So it's don't worry about it. If I don't talk about it next week, or if I tell you that it's not really open for the public, then don't worry about it. It was something we were taking signups for months, and we took them. We filled it. So for those that know that they're in, they can email Leia with questions, and people have been doing that. Otherwise, I will find out about the day stuff, and I'll let you all know. But it's the last weekend of April for those that just want to make contacts with us. So there you go. Okay. I have to hop off now because my wife is kicking the door. Or not yet, but she's going to be soon. So I've got to hop off on the Discord. I appreciate everybody. I'm going to close down the live stream here shortly. So everybody on Discord, we got a good group still here. So by the way, you guys just all hang out. Have fun. And I appreciate everybody for hopping on. And I will talk to you again next week. All right.
All right.
Thanks again, Todd.
See you guys.
See you, Joe.
See ya. All right. And on the YouTube side of the house and the Twitch side, appreciate you hanging out. Little bit early, but we got a full 2 hours in because I got the stream closed out right on time. So appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, please give me a thumbs up. Come on. And I will talk to you again next week. Let's see. I'm going to run the memes until we see the new ones, because it's a chef's kiss meme. There's 2 of them. And is Adam? Hopefully Adam's still in it. If Adam's watching, they're for you, bud. So let's start that going right now. We're gonna play the music, but then I'm gonna let him run until we see him. I'm pretty sure they're in there. They should be. Well, I'm just going to pull up the images now. Hold on. Where are my memes at? All right, hold on. These are too good not to share. All right, here we go. Get ready. They're so good. That's so good. Oh, that's the best. Whoever. Oh, you know what? I'll find out who did it. They're so good. These that is a winner of a meme. I got to give shout out to who did it. Who did it? It was W454N0DCW with the winner memes right there. So good. That's so good. The leg over the roof. The edit is just perfect. All right. Have a good rest of your weekend, everybody. I'll talk to you later. 73.